I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! That's right. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Good morning. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. On this show, we talk about fitness-related content from a home gym perspective, and we get your live reactions to the topics that matter to the home gym community. Plus, we have a lot of fun along the way. I'm John Greaves III. I am the co-founder of Garage Gym Life. If this is your first time checking out this show, whether you're watching it on Instagram, or on YouTube, or LinkedIn, or you're coming over from LinkedIn, wherever, welcome. And I promise you that you're in for a good time today. We've got a 3-hour show for you that's packed with content. So let's dive into what is going on today. So first of all, we're going to have news and other things as a segment that's immediately following this one, following the intro and shout outs to the live chat. And included in that, we're going to have a brand new Recliner of Rage. So today we've got a guest who's angry, and we're going to find out why he's mad. Then in the second hour at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Central, Scott McDonald, the CEO of Body Solid, will be joining us. He's going to talk about the latest from Body Solid. He's also going to talk about the trade shows that they've been to this past year. They've been to the Arnold, FIBO. I saw Scott at HFA when we were there. He's been to a bunch of places. So I want to talk to him about, like, what they get out of these different trade shows from a business perspective. And then I'm also going to get a sneak peek from him, a sneak preview of what they're going to be taking to HomeGymCon 2025. And then in the third hour, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Mountain Time, I'm really excited because Alex and Carlos from Synergy Custom Fitness will be joining us. They've been teasing. I've seen people talk about an adjustable dumbbell storage rack from them. I've seen people comment on their posts, say, hey, I would love to get your dumbbells, but I got your dumbbell storage solution, but I've got an adjustable dumbbell set, and so I can't use your storage rack. So they're like, all right, stand by. And so they have put together an adjustable dumbbell storage solution, and they're going to unveil it on this show. This will be the first time that anyone would have seen it publicly, and I cannot wait to check it out. So there we go. That's what's going to be having. That's what we're going to have today. Let's go ahead and first of all, before I forget, now you know what's going on. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button and hit subscribe. If you're watching on Instagram, do me a favor, hit subscribe. If you came over here from LinkedIn, if you came follow the link from LinkedIn, please follow our show page, Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life. I'd like to start streaming the show there. I tried to do it, but they wouldn't allow me. We need about 48 more followers on the show page on LinkedIn, and we will be able to start streaming directly to LinkedIn. So I want to cut out as much as a middleman as possible. So just go ahead and do that for me. All right, now that you know what's going on, let's go ahead and say what's up to everybody in live chat. Let's see who's up. All right, so I know Carlos was the first one. All right, I actually was just talking to him. He said, so at 4:51 a.m., my guy CB's True Consumer Reviews on Instagram, if you're interested, says, wake up, wake up, wake up. My guy Jared Martin throws out the cup of coffee. He's up, he's awake. T-Dog19 says, wake up, wake up, wake up. That's right. Eric Echoes, I didn't forget you this time. Eric says, morning, gents. We got the No Fate channel checking in. He's counting the days to HomeGymCon. That'll be the first time I get to meet Jonathan in person. I hope he doesn't out-angle me. I might even have on my No Fate 24/7 t-shirt just so people think we're twins. Let's see. T-Dog wants to know if he started the trend of guests joining Recliner Rage. Nah, Jared Martin did that. Jared Martin was our first guest Rage last year, but you were the second, so there you go. All right, my guy Michael Brantley is here. He says, morning. And Man Who Parks in Gym says, oh, hey, what's up, gentlemen? Thank you guys for being here. We got, now the people on Instagram are always shy. They don't like talking. People on Instagram just like to turn the show on and listen, right? So I would love to get you guys' comments, especially when the guests come on. But if you have questions about or comments about the topics we're going to talk about, especially news and other things you want to add to the conversation, please put your comments in there. I will see them. That's why I keep on looking to my right, because that's where the Instagram window is, and I'm looking over there and checking out your comments. So shout out to Action Jackson and DK Domestic Cleaning Limited. What's up? Thank you guys for joining. All right, we got about 435 of you guys watching right now. Time for you to do the right thing. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow, whatever applies. Jonathan, you trying to start something? No. No, absolutely not. Not on anything that has my name attached to it. All right. All right, so moving on now. Now that we said what's up to everybody, you got to be polite and say hello. Let's go ahead and dive into our first segment, news and other things. Okay, this first news item I don't really have a graphic for, but Bells of Steel has removed the tariff surcharge from their all of their products. And they said they did it. They sent it was in the email newsletter that they removed the tariff surcharge, both because tariffs have gone down significantly, but also because apparently customers were confused by it. To me, it was kind of self-explanatory. Like right there, this is what it would cost if tariffs didn't exist. This is what it costs because tariffs do exist. I actually like that. Think about it. Like the price of gas. I don't know what the price of gas is where you live, but most people, I hope, are aware that the price of gas is most affected by the taxes that are on the gas, right? So the federal, state, local taxes on gas are the reason why the price of gas is so high. It's not the actual cost of the gas itself. So I feel like if you went to a gas station where they told you like what the effect of the price of gas was based on what tax, you'd be able to say, hey, okay, I'm going to buy gas in this county, for example, because I know that taxes are lower. And so my gas cost is going to be lower, just for example. All right. But people were confused by it. So Bells still said they removed it. So now let's go ahead and let's just check out just one of their random products. Let's look at the Manicore. That's right. All right, kids. I hadn't planned on doing this, but it's the first screen share of the day. That's right. I know how much y'all like these screen shares. Let's go. Calm down. Calm down. I'm going to be sharing my screen a whole lot more today. So just relax, okay? But if you go to the Manicore, let's not do that. Let's just go to one that's pre-built. All right. All right. So right there, I don't want to do a builder. No, we're not going to do Manicores. No, I don't want to build my own. Where's the pre-built? There we go. Bam. All right. So it's sold out. That's irrelevant. The point is you don't see a tariff surcharge right here. So if they did have their Manicore folding half rack in stock, the pre-built one, then $863.99 would be what you would pay if you were in the United States. Plus, this actually might qualify for free shipping, or shipping would be included. There's no such thing as free shipping. But anyway, that was just an example. So in any case, you guys, if you are interested in Bells of Steel products, go ahead and check it out. And if you happen to live in Canada, I don't know what my Canadian viewership is, but if you how can I say this? I don't know what my Canadian viewership is, but you happen to be in Canada and you're watching this, you guys have a sale from Bells of Steel. It's the long weekend sale, and they're offering up to $700 in savings for those in Canada. The sale is going to end Monday, which hence long weekend. So you guys, I got our link in the video description on YouTube, and it's in my Instagram bio. So if you're in Canada, you want to take advantage of that sale, just go ahead and shop and save, and you'll be all set. All right. Now, for those of us here in Los Estados Unidos, let's move on to AdMat. Oh, we got comments. Let's see here. So there you go, trolling again. So now you want to know if I'm going to have Gluck on the show. I have asked Adrian Gluck to come on the show. He and Adrian and Winnie have an open invite to come on the show. they're just too busy for me, man. They're big time. I'm not big time yet. So, until I'm not at the level, I guess, where they have time for me, Anyway, but more pertinent to the discussion, Jonathan says all the companies that raise their prices rate because of tariffs, but there are not many that are reducing prices now that those prices are lower. And he says, hashtag, I told you so. That's hilarious. You said hashtag, I told you so. But that just shows you're old, Jonathan, because only old people say hashtag something. When hashtags are a way to search for something, it's not a way to it's not an exclamation point. But you old, okay? You're not as old as me, but you old. So I'll allow it. In any case, Jared says, round of applause for Bells of Steel. No one handled it better than Bells of Steel. I like it. I like what Fringe Sport did too, because Peter Keller was very upfront before all the stuff happened, talking about what was going to happen. But I like how transparent Bells of Steel was on their website, because not everybody saw Peter's video, but anybody who went to Bells of Steel's website could see right there, hey, this is what our pricing looks like. So I do applaud them. I agree. That's one of the reasons, the way they do business is one of the reasons why I was okay with doing an affiliate link with them. Matthew Porter says, good morning. Matthew, every time I talk to you, I'm just glad that a crocodile did not ring your doorbell and eat you. Okay. So good morning, man. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. All right. Let's see here. Are you asking me if Tim from Gym Crafter came on to do Recliner Rage? No, Tim is not. Tim has been on the show multiple times, but he did not do Recliner Rage, Trevor. So nah, he's happy. He is. I'm willing to have him on. All right, but he just hasn't been on. All right. And Carlos said he wants to make sure that y'all know that he's also old. Very well. For Tim for the live show. I'm happy to have him on. The thing for the live show is I'm trying to, the show is going to consist of, so Jonathan's going to be on. So keep in mind now, we're ending the show earlier than normal because I want people to be able to get downstairs, right? And then I've got brands that are coming up because they're going to be doing giveaways, right? So each brand's going to get about 15 minutes to answer questions about their booth, let you guys know what they have at the booth and what you can expect. They're going to do a giveaway, and then they're going to head to their booth, right? So that they'll be ready for you guys when you get down to the main expo room, right? So that doesn't leave a ton of space for people who are not for just content creators. I'm happy to have Jonathan on, and Tim as well, but yeah. So there we go. So like I said, that's the main thing. Is like every brand that's coming is going to do a giveaway. And I want to make sure that we have enough time to do the giveaway and for the brands to answer questions from you guys. So that's pretty much going to be an audience-driven event that day. All right. So there we go. All right. So more giveaways, fewer guests in that case. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm open to it depending on how it goes. Let's just say that. All right, let's move on to the next topic on the list of topics we're going to topic. AbMat has released an upgrade. Oh, Francois PT joined. What's up, man? I think you were on last week watching, so thank you for coming back. Give us another chance. Please do me a favor and head on over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button for me. And also, if you guys have comments, like I said, I'm going to tell you again, if you're on Instagram and you want to jump in the conversation, please, by all means, do not hesitate to jump in the conversation. I'd love to hear from you guys. All right. You see that the guys who are watching on YouTube, they're chatterboxes, and that's what I like. I want to hear from y'all. All right. I don't want passive viewership. This ain't the radio or this ain't the TV. Okay. This is an interactive medium. Don't be scared. It's fun. All right. My guy Matt has arrived. Says, good morning, USA. What's up, Matt? My dude, what's up? All right, so now let's go to the next item, and that is the Barbell Bomb. AbMat has announced an upgrade to the Barbell Bomb. It is the Barbell Bomb HD. So a couple of differences. The original Barbell Bomb was $30. This one's $55. Okay, that's the first difference right there. But from a functionality standpoint, this version is a heavier duty version because people were asking apparently for a version that they could take with them to use in commercial settings, right? And that makes sense to me because let's say you're traveling, especially if you travel a lot. Like let's say you travel a lot for work and you got landmine movements programmed or T-bar rows, things like that programmed in your training. Well, if you go to the hotel gym, they might have a barbell there, but they are not going to be happy about you jamming that bar up against the wall, and they are unlikely to have a dedicated landmine in a hotel gym. So you can have your barbell bomb, and you can use that to do your landmine work in a hotel gym setting. Or if you go to a public gym chain and they don't have, if you're gonna do, so let's say that before I go to a public gym chain for any reason, I usually call them and say, what do you ask them, like what kind of equipment they have, right? So if you're gonna do that, you're traveling, hey, you guys have landmines. If they don't have landmines, then you can just take the barbell bomb with you, and again, you can still do your landmine work. And like I said, it's also good for you to do T-bar rows and whatnot. And now you're not damaging the walls. They're not gonna tell you that you gotta leave or nothing stupid like that. So there you go. So that to me is the major advantage of the commercial version. It does weigh more. So the HD weighs 2.5 pounds, whereas the original only weighed like 4 ounces. But it does have that grippy exterior. We've got one downstairs that we use. And you guys can see right here, there's the kind of the differences right there. So there's the original and there's the HD next to it. The original was made out of a kind of like a foam. So it's better than a tennis ball, I'll tell you that. But it's not as, I would say it's not as durable and possibly not as grippy as the HD. That's going to be something that I'll probably check out at HomeGymCon just to see what the differences are. Since I do have the original barbell bomb downstairs in my home gym. So it'd be cool to compare it. Yeah, man, I think, and that's another thing too. So Carlos brings up a good point about the price. So right now there's a promo code that they sent me because I had the original one, and I'll put that promo code in the description for the video on YouTube. So if you're watching on Instagram, just head on over to YouTube and you'll see the promo code. But it'll take $25 off. So of the $55 HD version. So that'll help you guys out a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So you just use the code. Well, you know what? Since you guys are watching right now, I'll just go ahead and I'll put it in the chat right now. There you go. So I just put it in the chat. I don't know if you guys can see it on Instagram, but I just put it in the chat so everybody who's watching on YouTube can definitely see it. All right. Now let's get rid of that. But another thing I like about it is it's compact. Most landmine attachments are kind of compact anyway. But this way, this is something you don't even need a power rack to attach to. So, it's nice and versatile. I like that. So let's do that. All right. Now, next item is, all right. Now, for this next one, making good time. I'm proud of myself. We're making good time. All right. I'm here. I'm trying to impress all 858 of you guys who are watching the show right now. I'm on time. I'm on schedule. Look at me work. All right. Anyway, so my Eleiko Oppen Barbell Collars, and just so you know what I'm talking about, let me go ahead and share the screen right here. My Eleiko Oppen Barbell Collars, that's them right there on their website. They have arrived. And so I got them right here. And I worked up to a moderate single in the squat last night to just test, basically I had a test to see how easily they go on and off the bar. But also I wanted to see how much they walked away from the plates when racking the weight. Now, I don't tend to slam the bar down after squats, but I still wanted to know, you still get collars that'll walk a little bit. It may be by a small amount, but eventually you notice a gap, right? So I will test these out when I deadlift, but I also plan on testing them out when with some Steinborns next week. But this is just my first impressions of the collars in general. So go ahead and check it out. Okay, so I just got in my Oppen Collars from Eleiko, and this is just a quick review. So I got them up here on the rack. As you can see, they are magnetic. So magnet isn't super strong here, but it does the job. So this is a 1 pound micro gains plate. See that? See, 1 pound. So the magnet is strong enough to hold a 1 pound plate. As far as how these go on, when they came, they were closed like this. So you have to pop this little latch right here, and then you can either slide them on the sleeve like that. This is my Bells of Steel bare naked power lifting bar. So that just gives you an idea how big the sleeves are. It's basically a standard 29 millimeter power bar. So anyway, so it slides on the sleeves like that, and then you lock it down like that. Or you can actually just put them on that way. Again, lock it down like that. Shows you how strong it is. Now, the only thing is, because I haven't installed my wall control pegboard yet, I can't verify this, but you guys can see this makes it pretty tough. I normally hang my barbell collars on a pegboard. Well, this isn't gonna work. I tried. It's just gonna fall off. It'll balance there, but then as soon as I jostle it, it's gonna fall off. So what I am doing right now is storing it on the rack, as you guys saw. And once we have the wall control pegboard installed, then we're gonna probably just store it on the pegboard itself with all the other collars, but just stick it on there instead of hanging it on a peg. So that's pretty much it. So if you guys got any questions, we're live. Go ahead and ask me. Okay, so first of all, I would just like to take a minute to just shout out my Osmo Pocket 3. That thing was following me. I loved it. I know a lot of you guys use the Osmo line of products, but if you have not tried them and you are a content creator, I don't have any promo codes for you. I did tag them in the shopping button on YouTube, but yeah, I'm telling you, that thing is awesome. I love it. Great. In fact, I do all of my B-roll now with the Osmo Pocket 3. All my my workout videos, all that kind of stuff. So there we go. But anyway, so that was my first impressions of the Eleikos, and they really got to me pretty quickly. I'm trying to remember. I think I ordered them maybe 5 days or so ago, and they got here nice and pretty fast. So this is the magnet. This part here is feels kind of like a plastic material. You hear me hitting that? But it feels really durable. Only areas where I may have concerns are like this little spring right here. I'm interested to see how long this spring maintains tension. But yeah, and then I do like this part right here. I didn't mention this is everybody always says it's UHMW, but it's probably HDPE. But basically, it's like a protective coating to protect your barbell, because obviously you're going to be sliding it on and off. T-Dog says, how were they in terms of tension to open and lock? One-handed operation? Well, I mean, so in the video you guys saw that I had to like put my hand on it. Well, it's not because of the it's not because of the tension. It's because my sleeves were spinning. So if the sleeve wasn't spinning, I'd probably be able to close it no problem, right? But because the barbell sleeve spins, when I pushed down, the whole sleeve wanted to rotate. So I had to put a hand on it just to like stabilize it. But I mean, I don't really, I don't, I have yet to meet a barbell collar that I can't close with one hand and open one hand. And it obviously opens with one hand just fine. But there aren't any, I can't think of a single barbell collar that I can't open and close with one hand. Except for the fact that with these, the sleeve's going to spin. So you have to put a hand there to steady it. So yeah. It's not, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, you're like, was it easy to open? I'm like, yeah. Now, yeah, that's all I can say. Yeah, I don't know. But actually, that goes back to what I say all the time. This is only these are only like $100, right? But what you just said is actually one of the reasons why I always say don't buy something that's super expensive if you haven't actually touched it and used it yourself, because I could tell you it's great and then you end up not liking it. So there's that. I will say that the tension was similar to my lockjaw collars. So if you've used lockjaw collars, then I would say that the tension on these Oppen Collars was similar to my lockjaw collars. Now, I cannot tell you if they hold a bar as well as my lockjaws, because I haven't done anything where there's a lot of vibration, and the vibration is usually what causes collars to release a little bit. So that's why I said I'm going to try it with deadlifts tomorrow morning. And then this coming week, I'm going to do some Steinborns. I do Steinborns like every 4th week. I'm going to do some Steinborns and just see how these stand up to that stress test of the Steinborns. All right. But if you guys are interested in them, I will put the link in the live chat. Just let me know and I can put the link in the live chat. Again, I don't have any promo codes for you because I don't have any financial relationship with them. It's just something that I paid for that I thought, well, I saw it come out and I've been on the wait list for it. Like I saw them like when they were the idea came out, but I was too late to get them when they first came out. So I've been on the wait list. And then when I got notified that they were available again, I jumped on it, bought them, and I'm glad I did. But so far, I'm glad I ordered them. Okay. But if you guys are interested in checking out more, I am happy to add the link to the video description so you guys can go find it. So, in fact, I'll do that right now. So if you go in the video description on YouTube, you will find the link to find the Oppen Collars below the links to follow and subscribe to my guests. Carlos said, I do love my Osmo Action 4 and DJI Mike said, great video and sound quality. Yeah, man, so I know Jonathan from No Fate 24/7. I think he didn't like the Action 4 or Action 5 as much as he did his GoPro. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jonathan. I know you did a video about it, and I thought that you didn't like it as much, but this Pocket 3 is perfect. We got the Pocket 3 plus I got the Creator expansion, like the expansion pack with the carrying case and the 2 batteries and all that other stuff. And then the filter, I ended up giving the filter to my wife, but I went ahead and I got that combo pack because the plan is to use it when we go to like HomeGymCon, so we don't have to carry our bigger cameras around with us everywhere. And so we also got microphones, noise canceling microphones. We used the Osmos when we went to this. I know this is a big tangent, but we used the Osmos when we went to HFA. We shot most of, so I think there's only one video from our trip or from our HFA coverage out of the 7 to 10 videos I think we did. I don't remember how many we did, but out of all the videos we did at HFA, only one video was shot with something other than the Osmo Pocket 3. So, and using the Osmo Pocket 3 mic. So there you go. My guy Kurt, hope you enjoy retirement, man. He said, just woke up early to catch the midday Eastern time zone wake-up call. All right, what's up, man? That's the mark of a true retired veteran. Congratulations, man, and thank you for your service to our country. Hope you enjoy retirement, man. All right, so that's it for that. Now, a couple more things. Carlos, we're about 15 minutes out. Then next item, I'm always on the lookout for like cool new things. This is not strictly home gym related, right? Well, it's not exercise equipment, but I think it's home gym related because I do, because of doing content creation, we tend to do a lot of product assembly, disassembly. As a home gym owner in general, you're moving stuff around all the time. So I have a tool bag, but it's kind of a hassle to go through my tool bag to take all this stuff out, every time. Because inevitably the thing you're looking for is on the bottom. If you don't know that, you don't have a tool bag, right? So I just saw this thing literally this morning from Store Your Board. I've ordered some stuff from them before and I like it. So they've got a pivot panel tool organizer. It's available in 2 colors. So that's it in high pine green. So let's just go with green. And then it's also available in what they're calling harvest tan. So yeah, tan. Anyway, the thing I like about it is this. So you see it again, it pivots, hence the name pivot panel, right? And what I like about that is, so like you can have it on the wall, have your tools in it, and then you got more tools on the back, right? And I just think that that's cool. Now, I wish it came in black because that's my favorite color. Those are the dimensions right there. But I just think it'd be kind of cool to be able to put all of the tools I use most often in there. But then I also was like, I wonder if I could put like cable attachments in it. It supports up to 50 pounds. And it fits any wall studs. Got a powder-coated steel frame. Supposed to be pretty easy to install. I mean, it doesn't look like there's much to it. So that's just something that's a little bit different. It's like $75. But that to me is just something if you do content creation or you just have a home gym in general, you should have like a list of tools that you use to assemble products all the time. And that pivot panel tool organizer to me is an awesome product to add to your garage tool collection. Plus, like I said, you can store a lot more stuff than just, because of how it's designed. So you got the front and the back available, and it doesn't look, it looks good. So there you go. So Jared says, I'm not assembling stuff that often. Oh yeah, well, if you're not assembling, that's fine. If it's not you, you ain't got to get it. But I'm just saying, hey, I know we order stuff all the time. It shows up, and then it's like, if you order a bench, the bench doesn't come pre-assembled. You got to assemble it. So, whatever. And to be honest with you, it's not like you can only use the tools on home gym stuff. I mean, you might actually need to hang a picture every now and then in the house. So there you go. There you go, trolling. I swear, I see you, Jared. I see you trolling, Jared. But anyway, so if anybody's interested, I'll put the link in the video description for that as well. I don't have any issues. Just let me know, and I'm happy to put it in the video description. There's got to be somebody out there that's handy. Matthew Porter is a handy type of dude. He'll probably he might be interested in that. Did I say power rack commitment issues? I didn't say rack. I said bench. Y'all all heard me say, right? Y'all heard me say, I wish I had a rewind function on here. I wish I had instant replay. Y'all all heard me say, if you get a new bench in. I never said rack. Okay? I know you're married to bells of steel. I get it. But you know, and then I'm assuming that you don't do any other stuff, sort of handyman stuff around the house. That's fine. Okay. But I'm just saying, if you happen to ever do, there you go. But I do think of like, I might put my grippers in there because I'm looking for somewhere to put my grippers. So I've got my Iron Mind grippers. And right now they're kind of like just leaning up on the wall. I have a little ledge. I don't like that. So I want to be able to take those and put them in, like, just organize a little bit better. So that just stuck out to me as something that that would be cool. I see you, Jared. All right, fine. Don't buy it then, Jared. Don't buy it. Be like that. Don't buy it. In fact, you're not allowed to remember that I even mentioned it. How about that? Forget it right now. Forget that. See if I help you again. But later on in your life, at some point when you're struggling, you try to figure out where to put your tools and organize them, and you can't find that one tool that you need because it's in the wrong place. Don't forget that at that moment, I want you to remember that I told you something. But when that happens, don't buy it still because you wasn't grateful when I told you now. That's what you get. That's what you get. Anyway, thank you, Eric. Screwdriver pegboard attachment. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you put grippers in it. That's grippers were actually what I thought about, but I also thought about like the Eclipse grips. Might be a good fit for there because I got a bunch of like, you know, like just little odds and ends, you know? So you could just, it just seems like a cool little product. And you can put it, like I said, you can put it off to the side. I've got, now this probably won't be in my gym, but I've got the other side of our garage where I keep, you know, storage and things like that. So that this will probably go there, but I'm definitely thinking about getting it. So, all right. Final item before the most popular segment, Recliner Rage. We are less than 10 minutes away from Recliner Rage. So we got time for one more item, and that is Spud Inc. has announced a soft belt sale. What's a soft belt? Well, Spud Inc. Has these belts that are canvas, and what I like about, so for example, I've got the men's, I think I got the 2-ply. So I've got their men's deadlift belt. The 2-ply one is not expensive. It's like $63. And what I like using this for typically is when I Steinborn, because in the past I was doing Steinborns and I didn't, and my leather belt, my leather powerlifting belt would dig into my side and it didn't give me enough range of motion. Like it wasn't flexible enough to bend with me. So, and it was even worse when I had a lever belt. So I was visiting Spud Inc. and I told Mark Bartley about the situation. And he was like, well, try one of these, right? And so I tried it, and I actually hit a PR in Steinborns that day at Spud Inc. The video's somewhere. It may be on the Spud Inc. stuff, Instagram somewhere, but it's like way back because it was like right after the lockdown lifted, the pandemic lockdown lifted. Anyway, the point is, that's what I use it for, but it's also really cool if you like a belt for deadlifts that's not super stiff. And they are running a sale right now that includes all of their 3-ply and 2-ply belts. This one's kind of interesting. This is a belt that's got a ratchet, as you can see, a ratchet attachment on it. So if you do, I would assume that this might be something, I don't know if it's legal because I haven't checked the regulations for strongman, but this would be something that to me would be popular with strongman competitors. I think their other soft belts are pretty popular with strongman competitors. They've also got the Flex Core belt, and which kind of just looks like a regular belt to me, but you know, they got a lot of options. So the point is, the sale ends today, so you can use the promo code is belt20. Oh, don't act like you don't have regulations for strongman. Y'all got regulations about what shirt somebody can wear. In other words, basically, you can't wear a shirt that goes against whoever the competition sponsor is. Y'all got some regulations. Also, For some reason, y'all don't like it when somebody does sumo deadlift in strongman, but I digress. Thank you, Matt. Matt says I've seen him using strongman, so you'd be okay to use them. That's what I thought. I think this is kind of stuff that if you're doing like strongman type lifts, they might work because you got to be able to move. You need something that's going to move with you. In any case, if you're interested in it, okay. If you Kurt's trolling, I'm not even going to go any further with this with you. Let's see here. I'm happy. In fact, what I will do is if you guys want to come on and debate with me about why sumo is a more athletic, is a lift that prepares you better for athletic competition than conventional, I'm happy to have that debate anytime you want, except today, because I ain't got time to do it today. All right. I'm just going to say that and be done with it right now. But all I'm going to say is that if you analyze any the athletic positions of most sports, it's going to look more like a sumo deadlift than it is a conventional deadlift. And I said what I said.
Woo! Now that's a mic drop.
Said what I said. So moving on though. Let's see here. So anyway, so like I said, the sale ends today. And if you guys want the promo code, I'll give it to you. Say if you lift sumo, just admit you're a disappointment to your bloodline. I won't admit any such thing. I can say the same thing. If you use straps to deadlift, you know, your ancestors hang their heads in shame. Come on, man. Where's your pride? Nah, I use straps now. All right. Carp said I called Plate Snacks to see if it would make me a little conventional deadlift guy to put on my Garage Gym Life banner. I mean, you ain't about to desecrate that banner with a. You know what? Y'all got me acting like I don't like conventional deadlifting. I do conventional deadlifts too. I'm just not gonna. I'm telling you, sumo deadlifting prepares you better for any sort of athletic competition, better than conventional deadlifting does. Heck, sumo deadlifting prepares you to move the couch better than conventional deadlifting. You know, so that's just all there is to that. Carlos, we are ready. Let's go, Carlos. You see, we're there. There he goes. Oh, is that why he said crap? I forgot to see that. Uncontrollably out of control, uncoachable. Where's this dude at? So today on Recliner Rage, which is coming up as soon as I see him backstage, we have a guest crash out from my guy Carlos. Carlos has been betrayed by his home gym equipment. And as always, we provide a safe space to let you guys express your feelings. And we would like for you to express your feelings as loudly as possible because that is good for your soul. All right. It's also good for my soul because I get to laugh at somebody else's pain for once. You know, typically, y'all laugh at my pain. This time I get to laugh at your pain. So Carlos is going to be coming on here, I assume, at some point. I don't know. I'm looking right here. I wish I could just share my screen. So, Carlos, if you don't show up, I told you, you're going to be the subject of Recliner Rage if you don't come back. Because I literally just did a mic check and everything. We made sure everything was working. All right. He's got no excuse. All right. No, Carp, I do not hate the sumo versus conventional thing more than butterfly talk. I hate nothing more than butterfly talk. And to that end, that's why I say that this is officially a no butterfly zone. No butterfly zone. Okay. So there's that. I see my guy Scott McDonald backstage. So Scott's gonna be coming on in about 15 minutes. And you guys start getting your questions ready. Any body solid related questions, get them ready. Carlos says, I'm right here. You're not supposed to be right there, Carlos. You're supposed to be backstage where you were not even an hour ago. You're supposed to be backstage so I can bring you on stage, bring you live, so I can play your there. You're supposed to be backstage so I can play the intro and bring you on stage so you can crash out. And now you're making me crash out because you're not where you're supposed to be to crash out, Carlos. Okay, finally, at last, Carlos has returned to the show. And he's here because he's mad. Recliner Rage, let's go.
It's the recliner of rage.
It's the recliner of rage, because he's not happy.
Okay, now that comment is accurate. You're right here. And there he is. He right here. And he not going anywhere.
What is up, people?
15 minutes. For at least 15 minutes. All right, so Carlos. All right, let's start off. As everyone knows, Recliner Rage is about when your home gym equipment betrays you and you got to crash out in a safe and I wouldn't necessarily say it's a constructive way, but it's better than getting arrested. So I'm giving you a safe space. All right, so Carlos, the floor is yours. How have you been betrayed?
All right. So, all right, I'm old. Let me just go and establish that hashtag. And I live in an apartment and I'm on a budget. So I can't buy like the best equipment. I get it. But I came across a bench that I felt like was going to do better for me because my Weber only do so much, and I can, I don't want to die. So I saw this bench on the Amazon. It was $75. I know that's my first mistake. I know. I get it.
Okay, I'm glad you know it because here I come.
I know.
Okay, come on, man, dog. Okay, sorry. All right. You know what? This is not my time. This is not my time. Go ahead. I apologize.
Okay. All right. So anyway, $75, 82 if you're stupid, but whatever. You know what? The Ajmori garbage is what that is. It's supposed to hold, I think, 1,200 pounds versus Weber over there that's like capped out at like 6 or 7 or something like that. And, I don't lift that much, but I do like the comfort of being safe and like, being able to, feeling like my bench is not going to fail me. And John talks about dental work. I'm talking about, decapitation. So, yeah. But yeah, so here's the deal. I mean, I could talk that trash, but all right. So this thing is designed, obviously, to it rolls, and I can set it up, get it out of the way if I need to, stuff like that. I mean, it's nice. You got the design here that basically is supposed to click in place as you adjust it. But the problem that we have here is if this would just adjust here and just, but the problem that we have here is it does not catch. You might get lucky. I don't trust it. I spent like, what was it? 10, 15 minutes preparing myself a couple of days ago to try to do some inclines, and it just did not want to catch. And I'm like, man, I ain't trying to die today. So I contacted John, and here we are. So moral of the story is, don't do that. Save the money, spend the money, get a credit card, man, have a monthly bill, do something. Yeah, I messed up. And I'm owning up to it.
Oh, I'm on camera now. Yeah,
Carl, it's cool.
Yeah, I wasn't laughing at you. Definitely wasn't laughing.
Yeah. Look, man, I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. That's all I'm saying.
Do that now. Jared says, "Return that junk, sir." Matt said, "Did they mean
hashtag po folks?"
Did they mean 1,200 grams? Trevor asked an excellent question. how many 5-star reviews did it have from people who don't know how to lift? That is actually, because whenever they put that junk out on Amazon, they
paid for.
It's like they'll find like a little small I don't know, village in Pakistan and get all of them to log on and with a VPN and all say, "Oh, this is the greatest bench ever." Like, yeah, whatever, man. Matt said, on Amazon, red flag, $75 for a bench on Amazon, red flag. You know what? I'm gonna ask Scott McDonald about this when he comes on. Scott's like, "Hey, don't."
You know what? Only red flag that matters are those right there.
Well, they're technically black and red, but yeah. But you know what? You're right. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Jared, return that junk, sir. And Carp, actually, you know what? So this actually brings up something. So Carp said, it sounds like the balance from trap bar is the same as bells of steel trap bar situation. So what he's referring to is when we were I was looking at a YouTube review of the bells of steel open trap bar version 3. And somebody said, well, that trap bar looks just like my balance from trap bar that I got from Walmart. And so is bells of steel just like white labeling and like they're using the exact same product but trying to charge $200 more? And so I'm gonna stop you from doing this in case before. I hope you haven't done this. I'm gonna stop you now, Carlos. There is a significant difference because I happen to be the guy that the person who reviewed the video didn't have this information, okay? But since I was watching the video, I put in the comments, I said, well, I saw Carp test that exact bar, and he showed that it folded well before it got to its posted weight rating, all right? Yeah. So the other thing you said about how something on Amazon doesn't have the, like it's rated for this, keep in mind that Amazon doesn't have any sort of policing system. You can put down whatever you want to say that something's rated. It could be a box of tissues, and you say, well, it's rated for 1,200 pounds, and Amazon's not going to interfere. All right, they're going to say, well, you got to use your common sense, right? So all I'm going to say is I can understand, man, you paid money for the thing. They basically lied to you. They victimized you, lied to you, took advantage of the fact that you on a budget, and now you like, well, not only can I not use it, but even if you want to get rid of it, who you gonna give it to? You know what I mean?
No, you don't.
Exactly. Jared says you can occasionally find some good deals on the marketplace for sturdy used equipment. So he said the good thing about Amazon is you can get your money back. Would you be able to? What's your return window for this piece of product? Let's just use that word. My mom watches this show. What's your return window for this product? Has it already passed? Yeah,
it's throw it away. That's their window right now. Because it actually set up on the wall for like probably a month before I got a chance to get to it. So
all right, so we got to give you some solutions. Do you have a recycling center around you? Because if they'll take aluminum cans, they'll take that bench. They made it the same material. It does take a little. Yes, I'm enjoying this, by the way. Y'all laugh at my pain every single Friday. So I'm milking this.
Mind you, you know I'm the movie guy. You know I'm the movie guy. I just saw Final Destination. So what you're telling me is to take this somewhere and somebody can go, oh, this is great. And I'm going to be their Final Destination. Really? That's what you...
All right, now we got people with actual constructive comments, all right? That ain't me today, okay? Said the return window is to return it through the window, literally.
Fair.
Jared says, call Amazon, tell them there's a safety issue. I bet they'll take it back. That's a good point. It's a safety issue. And heck, you got a camera. You're using your Osmo right now. Shout out to Osmo again. Hey, I'm not sponsored by Osmo. I'm taking money. I'll let you go. Right. But yeah, just video it not doing what it's supposed to do, and they should take it back. Like, hey, there's a problem.
Makes sense.
And hopefully, even more important, if enough people do that, maybe it gets taken down.
Right,
right. You know what I'm saying? And so it's no longer available for sale, so other people don't get trapped by it. But look, man, I'm telling you, we're gonna figure out something because I'm in solutions business. All right.
I ain't happy, yo.
Go ahead and start calling around recycling centers and see if they'll take it. And then meanwhile, I'll be working on my end to see what we can do. Okay.
I'm thinking power saw personally. I'm just
just power saw. I don't think it'll need a power saw.
You think I can do it with some scissors?
You grab that joint and just do like that with it. Do it enough times. I'm sure it'll snap. I'm sure.
I think I might have some perforated edges on it already, so it's possible.
So there you go. Anyway, man, look, but in all seriousness, look, you know the code. If you mad, we're a family, so if you mad about something, we mad about it with you. You mad, so we mad, and we're gonna stay mad. What's the name of this company again? Is on
Adj Murray. AJ Murray.
AJMORI.
Yeah.
All right, we are all against AJ Murray. From
you
now
know Fernando is working there, right?
Oh, of course. He's the one that assembled that for you.
Forget you, Fernando.
Hey, Matt said kids' safety scissors will do the job.
There you go.
Trevor actually, once again, Trevor has actual constructive advice. He said, check your warranty if one exists. So that's another thing. Yeah, you might have a warranty. Again, because it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Oh, well. Look, your backup plan for the recycling center is still available, all right?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you to calm down, okay? I'm just going to tell you.
Thank you.
You mad, so we mad, and as a result,
it's the recliner of rage.
It's the recliner of rage, because he's not happy.
All right, my man. Appreciate you being here. I'm gonna let you go so you can get on with the rest of your day. And we're gonna shout out to the time zone that you're in, the Central Time Zone, in about 3 minutes. All right, my man. Take it easy, Carlos.
Cheers, everybody.
Later. All right, that's my guy, Carlos. Make sure you guys are following him. If you don't follow him and you are into video games and whatnot, yeah, he's been doing quite a bit of streaming over on his channel. So you guys can subscribe to him on YouTube, help him grow. Subscribe to @CBSTCR on YouTube. The link to do that is going to be in the description for this video on YouTube. But make sure you guys give him a subscribe to him. He does reviews of electronic products, and he's just a cool dude to follow. I love supporting, as I mentioned on Instagram in a post I made earlier this week, a couple of days ago, actually. I like supporting people who support me. And so Carlos has always been very supportive of the show and of the channel. So gonna make sure that I want you guys to make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to him. And all right, so it is 6:57 and we are doing outstanding on time. Okay, so it is now time to say good morning to the Central Time Zone. Thank you guys in the Central Time Zone for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. We already have a couple of representatives from Central Time Zone: Carbs Jim, Eric Eccles, my guy Carlos, who you guys just saw, represent the Central Time Zone. But to the rest of you who just woke up, thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. This is an outstanding show. If I do say so myself, I'm John Greaves III. I'm the co-founder of Garage Gym Life. And this is a show that is about home gym content. We talk about home gym fitness content. We talk about home gym equipment. And we talk to the brands that make the equipment, that make the home gym community possible, that make the home gym lifestyle possible. We got one of them, someone from one of those brands coming up in a few minutes. And that is Scott McDonald, who is the CEO of Body Solid. While we wait for Scott to come on, do me a favor, hit the like button. Hit the like button wherever you're watching this, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, if you are watching on LinkedIn. And you know what? I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead. It was on LinkedIn show page, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this to my LinkedIn personal page as well, because I know you guys have I want to make sure that all this information with Scott is out there. So let's do that real quick. We're going to add you guys to it. And boom. All right. So bam. So shout out to everybody who just joined us, who's watching on LinkedIn. As I said, my next guest is Scott McDonald from Body Solid. He is the CEO of Body Solid. Now, Scott's been on the show, not on this show, but he's been on the original Garage Gym Life podcast, which was a pre-recorded show. And this is his first time getting up and doing the live show with us. If you guys have any questions about Body Solid, if you don't know anything about Body Solid, throw those questions in the live chat, because we want Scott to be able to answer as we want to make good use of Scott's time. Before we bring him on, quick shout out to everybody who's ordered a Garage Gorilla bar. I still keep on seeing sales. I get reports of the sales of the Garage Gorilla bar. I appreciate you guys so much for your support. That money goes directly into making sure that this show is top notch. We pay for different things that are related to maintaining and upgrading our equipment for the show. So without you, that is impossible. If you've not ordered one, the link to order one and kind of upgrade your training is in the description for the video. It is the only 45-pound knurled axle bar with powerlifting markings, and I am super proud of that product. It originally started out as something that was just for me, and now it is now available through Gorilla Strength for everyone else to purchase. So you guys grab that link and make sure you tag Garage Gym Life when you are doing it, when you're using it in your training, or tag me on Instagram. And so, so I can give you a shout out as well. All right. Anyway, so now, Scott, are you ready? Scott's giving me the thumbs up. So let's go ahead and bring him on here. This is our technically first guest of the day, my guy, Scott McDonald. Welcome.
Thank you.
Scott always shows up with a deeper voice than me, which is kind of displeasing, but I've learned to live with it. It's personal.
You seem to be a little fixated on that. I was watching one of your podcasts the other day that you had the guy from Iron Master with the low voice.
I'm like, this is a disturbing trend. All you guys from these brands that have been around for a long time, you're coming up with these deep radio show voices. I'm like, hold on a second here. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna find a voice filter that alters it, makes you sound like you inhale some helium. And
I'll work on that. Don't worry, I got a day job. You're not threatened.
Yeah, we'll restore order immediately. But look, I sent you a text. Did you see it?
Oh, I don't think I did. Did you just send it to me right now?
About 15 minutes ago, while
Carlos
Carlos was complaining about his about his bar, his bench. Well, I'll just ask you. It's just an additional question to go along with the what I sent you, the list of questions I sent you. So we have a question, right? I'll just ask it right now. I hope Trevor is still listening. He says, may have to jump for the family before Scott comes on. Can you ask him who we reach out to if we want to buy something off the floor at HomeGymCon? I think that's an excellent question.
You reach out to me, quite honestly, or just come see us at the show. I mean, we don't have anything specifically, sold yet. We haven't even, in fact, I think we'll talk about it a little bit on this today, but we haven't even finalized our list of what we're going to bring, because one of the things, and I'll just put this out there right now, if you guys have something particular you want to see from us, we're actually just had a meeting yesterday to start putting together our list of products we want to bring. We'll talk a little bit more about that, because I know that John, you want to talk about it, but at any rate, see us at the show, or reach out to me directly if there's something particular you're looking for.
So to follow up on that, how would people reach you if they want to reach out to you?
They can go directly out. You want to put my
website?
Email address in the, I'm fine if you putting my email address in the chat.
Okay. All right. I will do that. And then, but also, so if they go to your website and use the contact form and just say, hey, can I talk to, you guys got a phone number. So if they just call you.
The contact, depending on the nature of the contact, it might go to our customer service group. It might go to our sales group.
I got you. Okay.
But, this is kind of more specific, and, I'll be at the show, and we've got, like I said, we're happy to sell anything that, that's on the floor that we bring. And we got a pretty big booth this year. So.
Okay. So I'm copying your email address right now, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll put it in the chat. Now, those of you who are watching on Instagram won't be able to, I don't think you'll be able to see this, so you have to come over to YouTube. But those of you who are watching on LinkedIn and who are watching on YouTube and I believe Facebook should be able to see it. So that's Scott's email address right there. All right. All right. So next question. I'm just going to, since we got questions from the chat coming already.
Sure.
And this is why I love the live show. When we were talking about it, I said, I'm telling you, it's a whole lot better when it's live than even, although I enjoyed our podcast conversation, the live show to me is a lot better because people can just immediately ask questions.
Yeah, it scares the hell out of me, but that's okay.
Oh, well, I won't let them ask you anything crazy because I want you to come back. You're gonna be a popular dude, I'm telling you. So Jared wants to know, what's the process for new product development? Is there anything
really
in the
great
pipeline?
question.
And is there anything in the pipeline that you can share with us now?
I probably can. So, the process is not a single process. We do, we have a great staff and an extremely experienced staff. We sell predominantly through dealers, I think most of you know, and those dealers are very knowledgeable as well. And then, of course, we've got consumers who are always interacting with us, primarily through social media, but they can, might send us an email or whatever it is. And what we're doing is looking at, because we come out with probably somewhere between 10 and 20 new products a year. Some of them are small things like a new attachment for a rack or something like that. Probably anywhere from 5 to 10 major pieces of equipment that we're coming out with. And as you may also know, we sell across a broad range of everywhere from kind of entry level fitness all the way through full commercial fitness. But excuse me. But at any rate, it's really a collaborative effort. It's it's looking to fill holes in our product line. It's somebody's got a good idea of something we can do that maybe we can do it a little bit differently or whatever it is. But we get together and basically probably about 2 to 3 times a year throw everything up against the wall and see what sticks. Then we come up with a list of maybe 20 ideas that we want to pursue. Narrow it down, and what we can physically do with our staff, and then start going through it. And it's a fun process because there's a lot of catcalling when we get these meetings together. We've been doing this for so long together. There's a lot of oh, Scott, you wanted to do this 10 years ago, and it sucked then, and it still sucks now. And it's
what a warm, supportive environment. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, well, y'all are in Chicago, so yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But new stuff coming through. Some of the stuff that's more recent, which you've already seen, is pretty much our whole product line went to black. But one of the things that we've been asked to do for years, and to be honest, and it's my fault probably that we've not done it, and I'm still a little concerned about it, is wall-mounted products. And the main reason I'm concerned about wall-mounted products, I think this group is probably pretty darn knowledgeable and knows you got to find a stud and things like that if you're going to do this. But there's a lot of dumb people out there who are going to, use drywall screws to attach it to drywall and have it come toppling down and hurting them. That's our concerns. We're gonna dip our toe in the water, I think, a little bit here, and probably come out with a wall-mounted rack in the next year. We're working on an all-in-one similar to what you've seen with all of our competitors making. Got a new sled in production. Got a little bit nicer version of our current sled. One of the neat products that came out recently, more of a commercial one though, but we won't have it at the show because it's really too big and it's more commercial oriented. But it's our new Jungle Gym product, which John, you saw it at the HFA.
Yeah, I
show.
loved it. I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, it's a cool product.
Huge.
It's huge. But you can do a standalone 4-stack, or you can do 2 4-stacks together in the Jungle Gym, or do 4-stack and 2-stack, and it's got a lot of great flexibility, and it's probably more a commercial piece or for somebody who's got a very large home gym.
So there's a bunch of things you just said in there.
Sorry.
That's okay. The first thing is that when you said someone with a very large home gym, I immediately thought of Rory Ellis, because he's got a building on his property, and he lives in Tennessee. He's got a building on his property, and I think that would be perfect for him, something like that, because for those who, and I'll link that video where I did the walkthrough with Body Solid. I think Andrew, was it Andrew who gave me a walkthrough? I don't remember his name, the person who gave us like a walkthrough. But anyway, he showed us everything. And so I'll link that in there so people can see everything that you guys took to HFA. But that was my first thought. Somebody who's got a big home gym and who wants something that will basically have all of like the cable functions in one spot. And then also like the pull-up things. And you can also do, that little thing that we did. It was fun when we were kids. It wasn't fun when I did it in the Marine Corps, where you grab like the rungs of the thing, you use like the obstacle course. I forgot what it's called, but like where you go like jungle gym and across. the hand over hand walking. Yeah, I think that'd be something that'd be really cool to do as well with that product. Eric said he's interested in trying your cable attached rower, which we saw last year at HomeGymCon.
Yeah, the G row it's called.
Yeah, we saw. Said Jake seems to like it a lot, and I liked it when I saw it.
I'm glad to hear you say that. We right now it's not on our list to bring, because we're if you want to talk a little bit about the show, I mean, we're trying to do something different than we did last year. And we had great receptions for the products we brought last year, and we could certainly bring them again. G-Row being one of them. And I saw just now someone asking about the compact leg press. We had that last year too at the show. Both great products. Right now our plans for sure on what to bring would include, we did have our larger SPR rack there last year. We're going to have it there again this year because we have a new functional training attachment that we're going to be showing off. That's brand new, literally not even in inventory yet. Also, it did not seem like there was a heck of a lot of storage products that were up last year, around the show. And so we've got some kind of cool recent storage products. We make a ton of really nice storage. Storage racks that are great for a home or a commercial gym, just to get your stuff off the floor, to have it stored nicely. You can take a friend into the gym and don't feel like it looks like your 3-year-old is playing in there for the last couple of weeks. A neat new vertical bar storage rack, and then going back, we make a lot of great leg machines. We're planning to have our GVLP, which is a new vertical leg press that Johnny probably saw it at HFA, but we're going to.
Yeah, that's the one that Naomi really liked. The one where you lay on your back. She loved it.
Yeah, we've gotten some very good reviews on it so far, but we wanted to show.
She was talking about it on the plane. I was like, let's.
Yeah, we're trying to not look like everybody else with a all-in-one rack, and try to show some things that are a little bit maybe different, and then also show the breadth and the flexibility of what we offer to the home gym community.
So Ashley said you guys are taking 2 of your CL300 climbers for the hybrid competition.
Yeah, we're psyched for that.
Yeah, she says she is stoked to try them out. So now Home Gym Physique, he's actually in the UK, so he's got some UK related questions. First, he wants to know about the etymology of your name. Do you have Scottish roots?
Son of Donald. Yes, it is. In fact, I was there in Scotland about 2 years ago. But my name is Scottish. My heritage is maybe at best 25% Scottish.
I was going to ask you if you.
I do have a kilt, and I do play the bagpipes a little bit.
There you go. Oh, so, all right. I mean, I got time if you want to go get it.
This early in the morning, I think my neighbors might not like it.
Yeah, I can't talk about your neighborhood. I can't have that. All right. Yeah. But the other question from Home Gym Physique is, do you have any plans to update? And I know I had a website question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans to update the UK and US sites? So
yes,
I can answer part of that because I read the Body Solid Times. All right. And it said that you guys are updating the at least the US website. That was in your March issue. It said that's one of your news, yes, mobile friendly. So since we're getting the question now, do you have an official launch date for when that's going to happen?
It is going to be soon. If I've done this a couple times over my career, and it's you get through like the first 90% really fast. I mean, it's like, okay, we're going to have this thing up and running in 2 months, and then you get to the final 10%, which is just the little detail things, and you don't want to throw it out there when it's half done or not, or even 90% done. And so we're very, very close. It's going to be hopefully not 90s design. And it wasn't done in the 90s. I think it was done in the early 2000s, but it is old, and it's long needed to be done. And we're excited about doing it. For those of you out here who are reviewers and affiliates and so forth, we will have not quite right away because we want to get it up and running and working, but within a few months after we get it up and running, we'll be able to accept direct affiliate feeds for purchases and things like that, which is, I know a lot of folks have been not excited about that in dealing with us, but that's going to get handled. But we're, a lot of great social media content. Our blog will be there. So it's, we're pretty excited about it. And I'm going to guess we're still 1 to 2 months away, but hopefully before we get too far into the summer.
Okay. So, And I will say that he also says he loves Body Solid gym equipment.
Thank you.
I tell you all the time, man, I'm always, whenever somebody tells me they're setting up a home gym, I always bring up Body Solid. And they're always like, oh man, I need to check them out. Is that part of the reason, like, to just kind of enhance your visibility so that you guys become a little bit more at the forefront of people's thinking when they think about home gym stuff? Is that part of why you guys go to like the trade shows and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, the trade shows, it's interesting because there's kind of two types of trade shows that we participate in. You've got the like HFA and FIBO, which do have some individuals, but mostly you've got corporate institutions that are coming to those, whether it's a dealer who sells fitness equipment, or it can be a club or a gym, et cetera. And then you've got shows, for example, like HomeGymCon, which are really more consumer driven. And so there's, you're doing two things when you do this. You're hopefully presenting to people who are selling your product, at least in our case, since we do sell through dealers mostly. But secondly, you're building your brand and you're getting exposure. I mean, that's what I love about HomeGymCon, is that it's, there are two types of fitness sellers in this world. There's the direct sellers, which I think this community is very familiar with that. The reps of the world and Rogue and so forth. And then you've got us, who and many companies like us who sell indirectly through dealers. Dealers might include also Amazon and Dick's and what have you that we're selling on. A lot of online sales, but a lot of also very good local dealers. In Chicago, we've got Fitness Factory outlet, fitnessfactory.com, that we sell through. That has bricks and mortar stores that local Chicago people can actually come and try our equipment out. The particularly that side of the business is really not well covered by a lot of the blogs, a lot of the reviewers, and so forth. And so, there's a lot of really strong, and I don't know this for a fact, but I'm going to say there's more fitness equipment sold indirectly through dealers, and particularly because you're including Amazon and Dick's and stuff like that, and Costco and whatever in that, than there is sold directly, through the makers' websites. So again,
if you're looking at volume, I agree with that.
Yeah, and so
a lot of times people don't think about Amazon.
Yeah, well, Amazon obviously is the 10-ton gorilla in anybody's e-commerce world, but at any rate, so we're trying to do two things there. One, we're trying to be able to show our product. It's we've got big, heavy product. It's really hard to say, hey, John, one of my dealers, can I come on down and show you all my product? I can show you pictures. I'm not going to bring it to you. Right. So either we ask you to come and see us at our facility in Chicago, or we have these shows that we do. And like the big ones for that group are the HFA show in the United States and the FIBO show in Europe and Germany. And then we do a couple of different sector type shows like that are focused on, say apartments or physical therapy. And then, as you noted, we've been involved in Arnold as well for many years. So it's a combination of shows, and they're great for us. And by the way, going back to the earlier question of how do you do product development? Obviously, you're seeing what your competitors are doing at a lot of these shows. But the other thing is you're getting ideas. We love it when somebody comes and says, this is your product here is great, but what if it did this? And we're like, hey, that's a pretty damn good idea. Yeah. And so we're nimble enough that we can usually quickly say, okay, let's make that minor change here, a running change in a product that might even have been selling it for a couple of years, and we're willing to tweak it.
Nice. So we actually have a piggyback on that question from BJ with the Iron Clinic. He said body size is a staple in the commercial gym world, but as I mentioned, he says it's not something you hear crazy often in the home gym community. Besides HomeGymCon, are you guys doing a push to specifically reach the home gym community?
Yes, and I think if you go back and look at first of all, it's interesting to that you have that perception, because our roots are actually in the home gym world. We're 36 years old this summer, and our first product was a bench that was for the home. And but at any rate, we've been in the commercial market for 20 years, so I mean it's not like we're brand new to that side either. And this really kind of points to what I was just describing a few minutes ago. You know, John and your colleagues really, really focus on the direct guys because, to be honest with you, that's how you get compensated in a lot of cases. You're showing our products, and then people can link through and buy the products, and you get a little something from that. The dealer-oriented sellers like myself and True Fitness and Torque and Life Fitness and Techno Gym and Precor and all these big companies, and so a lot of small companies too. We don't really get a lot of press from that segment, and that's why you don't hear that much about it. And I would say that probably starting a couple of years ago, we said, we need to get into this market. We need to be part of it because we're being compared. Our racks are being compared to Titan racks and to Rep racks and et cetera. And we need to be able to address it. And so we're doing it as best we can right now, with the significant limitation at the moment. We don't sell direct. You have to buy it through one of our dealers.
So I'm actually gonna I saw, and so BJ said he said correct. I have a text limit here. He says Body Size is a home gym brand, but in the community online, Reddit, Instagram, Discord, it's not a brand you hear recommended often, mainly due to the direct sale thing. As you said, people have affiliate links. So I will also add this. So I have tried, and so yeah, let's see. CBS True Consumer Reviews on Instagram says, "Good Lord, that's a good run. 20 years, actually 36 years.
36
Body
years.
Size has been around for 36 years. So think about that when you think about the fact that they have a lifetime warranty. If you bought that first bench that came out 36 years ago and something went wrong with it, there's a warranty on it that the company is still going to honor. But we'll get back to that in a second. So what I want to say is, as far as the dealers, the local dealers go, I've actually reached out to local dealers and asked if I could come to film and say, "Hey, can I come to your place?" Well, okay, I won't name like the one. I'll tell you offline. And they were just like, essentially no, because I was like, "Hey, I want to come down and I want to, and even when I have gone, so like Freedom Fitness Equipment, I'm a huge fan of Ashton. He's one of your dealers, and I've been to his place twice actually. And I've had him on the show, but a lot of times the local dealers don't sell exclusively Body Solid stuff. So they don't highlight the Body Solid stuff. They highlight what they think you might buy, right? And so I would love to have a situation where I went into a local dealer and they walked me through the Body Solid products they have. Mm-hmm. Because the other problem is when I've sent people to buy stuff and say, "Hey, you just got to go on the website, find a local dealer, go to them." Sometimes they don't have your stuff in stock. They may have it, but they don't have the specific thing the person's looking for in stock. So then the person has to wait for them to order it. He's like, "Well, if I got to wait for them to order it anyway, why not just buy from someone directly?" So to that point, though, when we were at your party, and I gotta give a shout out to, he doesn't know I'm gonna do this, but we were at HFA. We were actually talking to another brand, and we were trying to talk them into letting us do a booth tour at their booth. And they were kind of like hemming and hawing about whether they want us to let us do it, right? Scott had no idea what we were doing. He just saw us across the room, walked over, and said, "John," and I turned around and I said, "Oh, hey, Scott." And the other brand knew who he was. And because just by virtue of the fact that you came over and you said hi, and then you were like, you invited us to like your after party. I guess this was called the after party. You said, "Hey, you make sure you come to our after party event." I said, "Oh yeah, man, definitely." Right. So just by the fact that you did that, when you walked away, their tune changed completely and they let us do the booth tour. Because they were like, "Oh, okay, I guess you are somebody." Yeah. So that's one of those things, like from a relationship standpoint, it's like you got really nothing out of that other than, because you could have waited till we walked by, you know what I mean? But the fact that you were willing to come to us and say hi, that meant a lot to me. And that's actually your first time meeting my wife too. So it was like, now her impression of Body Solid is that first interaction.
Well, that's
so good. I just think that's something I wanted to give you, as the kids say, give you your flowers right now.
Can I give a shout out to you? So John and Naomi Naomi, she was there too, but at the party, and we were,
yeah, she was there.
It was pretty late, and I don't remember what time it was. And remember, this is in Las Vegas, which is on Western time, and this was Thursday night.
Yep.
And John looks at me and says, "I am going home to the hotel room for an hour until I wake up and start doing my show." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" and I was in a pretty good mood at that time, and I said, 10 years from now, God willing, your show is going to be going, and you're not going to be excited about this, that you started this up way too early.
You know what? I was like, the thing is, when I was looking at it, I said, well, when can I put this? I want to do a live show. When would be the best place to put it, or the best time to put it, so that the audience would be into it?
Yeah.
Right. And speaking of which, I see Rory Ellis. He said, "Good morning, Joey at your video. What's up, man?" Says, "Good morning." We got some people from a bunch of people from Instagram. Fig Jam Exercises on here. Small Military Powerlifter said he's going to be EST for another couple of weeks. Like he's going to rotate out. All right. Hey, I appreciate all you guys for joining. Farmer Strong, what's up, man? I hope that pec tear is healing up, man. Can't wait to see you on the platform again. So like we get the vibe of like the morning drive. That's why we keep it loose and fun.
I love it. I
was like, man, I could put it in the afternoon, but people are kind of like dragging a little bit by that time. I was like, let's just do it in the morning, man. I can wake up early. It's cool. It's just a matter of talking my guests into coming on early. And so I appreciate you spending, giving us some of your time. But anyway, the thing is that, to go back to what we were talking about originally about the whole products and finding a dealer, you mentioned at that after party that you guys actually set up a workstation at HomeGymCon so that people could come and find it. Like you helped them find a dealer local to them so that they could find the product if they weren't able to like just to buy it on the spot at HomeGymCon.
Well, yeah, we have
it's heavy.
Right on our website, we have a dealer locator.
Yeah.
You can put in your zip code, you can put in, your local city, whatever it is, and it'll tell you what dealers. And commenting a little bit on what you were saying before. I mean, it's tough. We've got 600-700 different items that we're selling.
Yeah.
And each dealer's got their own way of looking at what they want to sell. They might be more commercial oriented, they might be more on a budget oriented. It kind of depends, the neighborhoods they're in and stuff like that. And so they'll nobody can floor all of our product, and they're going to pick and choose, but the other thing is that, we've got a, you got a question about our product, give us a call, send us an email, and we can, it doesn't work for somebody who, like, for example, you get a lot of big people, little tall, 6'5", 6'6" guys who are like, am I going to be scrunched if I try to use this? And we know that answer for the product. We try to design our products to be, good for as broad of a section as we can. We can never please everybody. We understand that, but in particular, in fact, if you're at HomeGymCon, shout out to one of our guys, Kevin, who will be there, who's, I don't know how big he is, but he's big. He's 6 something and former Marine, and he'll be there helping us with the show, and he can show you whether or not somebody who's big can use our product or not.
Well, that actually happened. So with Tim Stewart from Gym Crafter, he lives in the Illinois area, and I remember he had his experience with Body Solid was through your best line.
Oh yeah,
and he was like, that's not as heavy duty as he would like. He's like, I'm not going to be recommending. I said, dude, I'm telling you, Body Solid is legit stuff. And so that's why I took him to your booth at HomeGymCon. I was like, look, see that right there? Tell me that that's not legit. And he's like, oh wow. And that I think that led to like some interactions with you guys, some collaborations. But he's 6 foot. I think Tim is 6'6".
Yeah, he's a tall guy.
So again, he was able to say he walked up to the SPR and he was like, oh, this is I could use this. So this is perfect. I don't want to miss Eric's comment. He said, back to like the cable row thing. He said, I feel like I was rushed through because he was doing a competition, and so he missed a lot of stuff. He said, with this many more vendors, he said, I think it's going to be harder to see everything I want to see. So that's one reason why I want to have people come on and say, well, this is a preview of what we're going to have. So you can kind of start planning out where you want to go, because it's only like a 2-day event. So that way you can kind of say, hey, I know I want to check this out. And so
Well, it's getting bigger every year. Who knows? Jake may extend it to 3 days if it keeps going the way it is.
I hope it goes back to 3 days. That's what year one was. I really hope it goes back to 3 days. And from a content creative standpoint, it's a lot easier for me if it's 3 days too.
Well, I know you're talking about Tim. I think he did a lot of his reviews either before or after the show was open. Just so he could actually do them, without being disturbed and
have time.
Yeah,
he did. He actually went in at night after the VIP get together, and so he went in and just shot all his footage that night. Trevor also wanted to make sure that you bring the 80. I guess that's your GPR
400.
With the cable attachment.
We're probably not going to bring that only because it's a big piece, and we did have it there last year. But it is. I mean, it is a great piece for the home gym community because it's because it's shorter than your average rack and can fit into when you have a ceiling challenged place, whether it's a garage or a basement or whatever it is. We're probably not going to bring that this year, but
you're bringing the SPR. That's the same thing.
The big rack, the SPR.
Same thing.
Yeah, and it's got a very similar functional training attachment that the GPR 400 has.
Right.
Excuse me.
That's so let's see. And this is a good question. Does that rower work with other cable machines?
It does. It has to have just a low cable.
Okay, perfect. All right. And Jared, I see your question. Jared wants to know, I don't know if you were listening when you heard Carlos complain. They said, what bench would you recommend for Carlos? And Carp said Carlos needs a new bench.
Carlos, email me and I will make you a deal that you can't beat on a new bench if you want. But I'm going to tell you, we sell, I think, 25 different benches. And they range from all over the place. And, I mentioned a second ago that you can't make everything for everybody, and without getting too gory here, some people got a big butt, some people don't, some people got a bony back, I can find somebody who loves a bench and hates another one of our benches. And I sit on them and they feel the same to me, narrow, wide, cushioning, pads, but, for a good adjustable bench, one of the ones, and I think Carlos, you mentioned that you live in an apartment. Our GFID 225 is a fold-up bench, which a lot of people love for that because you can fold it down, throw it under a bed, put it in a closet or something like that to give you a little bit of extra room, the rest of the time when you're not working out.
Perfect. All right, so let's see here. Just in general, this is another trade show thing. What's been your general impression of the crowds at the trade shows and the expos, especially with all this, because you've been overseas as well as here in the States? You had the tariff conversation and all that. What's been like the general mood of the crowds?
I'd say it's, in the fitness industry, I think there's been kind of a hangover from COVID. As everyone knows, it was just nuts during COVID. It got really rough after COVID because a lot of the people who bought stuffs were selling it used, and it seems like people are finally gotten past that. I think that we're moving forward. Obviously, the tariff conversation has been top of mind for everybody for at least since the beginning of the year. Particularly at FIBO, because literally when we were at FIBO is when the U.S. and China were going back and forth and ended up with the 145 and the 125% tariffs and so forth. It was pretty ridiculous. But so everyone was very interested, and the FIBO crowd is a very international crowd, including a lot of Chinese people, and I talked to a lot of Chinese people, and we all agreed that our leaders in both cases probably needed to take a step back, which they have now. But particularly FIBO, I have not been to FIBO for a few years, but the general feeling I got from just talking to people and from other people who go every year is that it's pretty positive. It's the people are kind of like it's time to buy again. It's time to start investing in fitness and I think there's a lot of negatives regarding the tariff situation because there's a lot of concerns about that because it obviously impacts a huge portion of the fitness industry because there's very little of it that's being made in the United States these days. But in general, I think it's pretty positive, and the crowds are getting bigger too, which is nice. Particularly at HFA, it seems to like the year right after COVID, it was and then it's been growing every year and getting a little bit bigger, which is good.
Yeah, I remember I told Naomi, I track my steps, and I told Naomi after we did 2 trips from the hotel room through the casino to the trade show room and back, and I said, I think I just hit my step count. I hit 10,000 steps just doing that. Yeah. It was crazy. But a lot of that was because you're walking around people, crowds, and everything. So yeah, there's a lot. I have a question about trends, and so I want to go ahead and pull up your website real quick. These are the latest products you have on your website, and you can touch on any of these that you want. But something I want to ask is, what would you say is the major difference between the home gym industry now and what people who specifically were training at home expected 36 years ago?
That's a really good question, and I don't even know where to start because there's so many different things. One kind of more of a humorous point. So when we first came out with our first product, it was black. Then the industry went white with white painted stuff. Then everybody kind of went silver, and now we're back to black. Yeah. And so I kid with our product development guys. I'm like, well, why don't we get ahead of the curve and go white again? But that's a silly story right there. But I think there's obviously what's happened is home gyms. And when I talk about home gyms now, I'm talking about the stacked weight multifunctional home gym. That body saw, quite honestly, that's where we got started. That's where we made our name years ago. Was the big seller for years. Functional trainers started coming out in a big way probably 10 to 15 20 years ago maybe, and those became kind of like basically an adaptation of the old cable crossovers. Those started becoming really, really popular. Then I think I'm not going to give them 100% credit for it, but certainly CrossFit did a lot for popularizing free weightlifting and racks and what have you. And now, and you're looking right now at one of our products, which is a hybrid of a functional training and a rack system. That is very big right now. Everyone seems to have some version of this. Functional training is still, I think, one of the most, if you know what you're doing, and you're, particularly if you're working out alone a lot, it's the safest and most flexible way for you to work out. But the other big change I think is, and I make an analogy to playgrounds. When years ago, playgrounds were a swing set, a slide, maybe a jungle gym, and one or two other things. And today you go to a playground and it's got climbing walls, it's got ropes, it's got all these little fun toys. Power racks are the same. 30 years ago, 20 years ago, power racks were
just a box.
You might have 2 types of safeties. You might have you had a lat attachment probably available for it. I think we've got something like 30 attachments for our SPR rack. And it's fun. And it's what has breeded your community, this community that we're all a part of, that gets so excited and interested about it, because people are coming up with neat ideas, neat new attachments, little $5 products that nobody really thought of, that like a wedge so that your things don't roll away, or and I think that is what's really neat. And of course, the internet has been able to create such a great community that's really taken off, I think, since COVID. That is such a great resource for me to see what do people want, what can we do to make you happier about us and about our products.
So speaking of that, the question I texted you that you didn't say, I'll just ask you now, because BJ kind of alluded to it. Whereas, like, are you guys? Yeah, I was like, do you guys plan on having more color options? Because I know black, white, whatever. It's like, would you add?
You know, I wish
red,
we did,
purple,
but no,
green.
We're you know, we are making products more for the masses than for the custom situation. I mean, we do have access to people who paint, you know, who do powder coat in the Chicago area, and if somebody really wanted to do it, but we're bringing in 10, 15 containers a week of product, and it doesn't lend itself as much to custom paint work and custom upholstery and things like that. But we do have the capabilities, like for a commercial situation, if somebody really wanted to do it. But there's other people who do that better than we do, to be honest with you.
Now I can answer this question because that shows that, see, Carp, you're my guy, but that shows that you didn't watch the previous. The last time that Scott was on here, not on here, but the last time I interviewed you, right? Because Scott showed his home gym, and then he actually sent me a picture of it, and I posted it on my Instagram. So yes, Scott has a home gym.
But I also work out at work too.
Oh
yeah.
So yes, he does have a home gym. I can verify that. I've seen the picture.
Yeah. One of the fun things about working for us is we have a pretty good sized office that we only use about half of. We really bought the building for the warehouse, not for the office itself. And the upstairs, the previous tenant of our previous owner of our building had basically a lunchroom and a computer room up on the second floor that are now our 2 workout rooms. We put a couple of showers up there so people clean up and everything and change. And it's full of good product, but also a lot of our prototypes and things like that. And so it's fun, you asked a little bit about product development. The later process of the product development is, okay, we've got a prototype. Let's start trying it and let's start using it. Let's get big guys on it. Let's get little guys on it. Let's get, all sorts of people to use it. Let's make sure it feels good, et cetera. And that's a great resource for us as a company.
So my guy Kurt said, I spent a bit of time at the Body Solid booth, but most of me taking in booths was after hours because of how busy I keep myself at HomeGymCon. Because Kurt runs the Strongman Throwdown. So yeah, he can't just roll.
And putting this out to any of the folks who want to, if you can be in the show after or before hours, we can too. And I love to make an appointment and spend some time with you there, or have one of my guys spend some time with you if you want, because I understand it's a busy show this year.
I actually want to do that anyway with you guys because specifically just so I can make sure. So yeah, we definitely. Oh, I can't. Well, this is over. That was Scott, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, yeah, just because I think it'll be. On the one hand, it's like kind of like you don't want to like get in the way of somebody who might actually be buying something. Like I said, you guys said you're gonna have a laptop there. So if somebody says, "Hey, I want to buy this SPR," right? Where can I order it? Well, you've got the laptop. You can say, "All right,
you'll be able to buy our product right there." The product that is there will be for sale. But if you, for example, want to buy the SPR rack, don't have a car to bring it home in. We can ship you one direct. So
heck yeah. So yeah, but I definitely wanted to do that. And let me see here. BJ wants to know what your favorite lift is and why is it the barbell back squat?
Why, or is it the barbell back squat?
No, he's telling you that your favorite lift is the barbell back squat.
Okay. My favorite lift is the barbell back squat.
Yeah. He's just pro. Yeah, he's like
I don't know that I have a favorite. I spread it around.
There you go. All right. Home Gym Hubs is good morning. All right. What's up, man? Talking to you, Spencer, and Carp said, "I love when guys that run companies in the home gym. I love when guys that run companies are in the community as well." He said, "That's awesome." And that's correct. We're not getting out of here without talking about your lifetime warranty because I bring it up. Heck, I already brought it up twice, I think, before this, during this interview, because so many companies offer like, okay, well, it's a year. It's 30 days. It's limited lifetime, whatever. You guys offer a lifetime warranty. And candidly, you don't offer a lifetime warranty on something if you expect it to break. You offer a lifetime warranty because you know it's durable. But then even your power line, I got power line, one of your power line products down. 2 of your power line products downstairs. And that has the 10-year warranty on them, right? But that's a big deal. What do you, that's what I think is like the thing that I think people are sleeping on. What do you see though, as the aspect of your business that you wish more potential customers knew about?
Well, let me just go back a little bit and talk about that lifetime warranty. And it is important. And a lot of you are buying products that have cables in them. And if you didn't know this, this is my public service announcement of the day. Cables break, and when they break, they can hurt you or hurt the person who's using the gym. And you call us on one of our products and you need a new cable, we will ship you a new cable free tomorrow, because it's so important. You should check your cables before you use the product. You should check, they will wear over time. If you're using a cable product on a regular basis, you should probably just preemptively replace it at least once a year. And that's part of that lifetime warranty for us is, self-serving. We don't want people to get hurt on our product, because that doesn't help you and it certainly doesn't help us. But what do I want people to know? We talked earlier about, there's this whole segment of the fitness industry that sells through dealers that doesn't get as much publicity on the direct side. And, obviously we want to make sure people are aware of us and know that we've got, 600-700 different SKUs. Products that we sell everything from iron to jump ropes to large equipment to racks to, we talked about a bunch of stuff here. I think the other thing is we've been around for 36 years. I don't want this to sound like too much of a commercial, but obviously it is right now. But
as the kids say, Scott, talk your talk. This is your moment.
We've been around for 36 years, and when you're buying the product, can you call them? There's a lot of companies right now, you can't even find a phone number for them. Can you call them? When you call them, is there somebody on the other line who can actually, help you? Is the company going to be here 10 years from now when you got a problem with a product that's got a lifetime or a 10-year warranty? And I think that's really, really important. Not to pile on Carlos, but he was, what's the word? Pound wise or penny wise and pound foolish or something. But it's do your research, buy a quality product that's backed by a quality company. And I'm not the only guy out there. There are so many good fitness companies out there, but there are a lot of bad ones, and you got to be careful.
Nice, yeah. Feel free to talk about Carlos. He said let him cook. Shout out to L Mallison 6 said love early mornings, best time of the day. Thank you for getting up way too early and jumping on here on Instagram. L Mallison, Dinesh Mech 15, Elsan Mukhtarov. Oh wow, you get the win. You get the award of hardest name to say for the day. But I appreciate you being here. Susan Cato, Mike Robb, hey, appreciate you guys being here. Fig Jam Exerciser, go ahead, keep on. We only got a few more minutes with Scott. CEO of Body Solid. Make sure you put those questions in there so we can get them answered for you. This is something that's a little bit kind of off the beaten path, because obviously I don't live in an apartment, but we do travel a lot. And so you guys set up a gym at this apartment complex it's like 30 minutes from me. It's called Eleiko at Cartersville. And I thought about, I say, I didn't think about, like, I guess the fitness center. That would be something that I would say is a deal breaker if I'm going to go live in an apartment and they don't have anywhere for me to work out, right?
Yep.
Which that goes back to Carlos's situation. If he had a good fitness center, maybe he wouldn't have to have all that stuff in his own apartment. So, because it's a space saving thing. But more specific to my situation, whenever we travel, Naomi and I prioritize Homewood 2 by Hilton. So free commercial for them, I guess. But the reason for that is because we know they've got a good gym. So they've got dumbbells that go up to 70 pounds and whatnot. I know that you guys set up gyms for hotels. Maybe you do it through your dealers or whatever. I saw that you guys did like the Holiday Inn and Suites in Bloomington, Illinois. Shout out to Bloomington. I've been there once. Do you guys outfit hotel chains? Do you do them on an individual basis through your dealers? Because if I know, because it's not just that you have a gym, or a fitness center in a hotel, I want to know like what quality of equipment it is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I know, okay, hey, they've got Body Solid equipment at this hotel and I've got a choice between it and somewhere else and I have to stay there, I'm going to pick the one that's got Body Solid equipment. So do you guys do chains?
We don't have any relationships with the chains as a whole. And each chain's a little bit different. Most of the larger chains are buying they're making a corporate agreement with like a Matrix or a Life Fitness or a Techno Gym, and they're getting all their stuff through them. Where we do very well in the hospitality arena is with the more individually franchise-owned hotel operations, typically there's so many things you have to worry about when you're got a hotel. Number one would be the rooms, particularly in the past. Fitness rooms were way down. I think they're getting much higher on the priority list, but way down. And I can't tell you how many times we get the call from a hotel saying, "Hey, I got corporate coming out for an audit next week, and I need a new treadmill now." And we're we can help you there. And because we've got we've got a 200,000 square foot warehouse here in Chicago, and we're in stock for most of the things all the time. So particularly when somebody needs something quick, we're a great option.
Heck yeah. I'm like, because I mean, people forget it's like you might be the CEO of a company, but I mean, remember when like CrossFit started and all of it, I think the reason why they got hooked up with Reebok was because one of the Reebok executives started doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say it's a tech company, that doesn't mean that they don't work out. And in fact, they want to prioritize good equipment that they can get a quick workout in, because then they got to go back to work.
Right.
So something that is durable, that is not difficult for me to figure out, that's going to be something that they're going to prioritize. Heck, for me, it's definitely a deal breaker, because it's like, all right, if the hotel doesn't have a fitness center, where's the closest gym? Because I'm not just traveling to travel. It's like, well, what do I have to do in order to find somewhere so I can work out while I'm at this place? Or am I going to just be detraining the entire time I'm there? There's only so many push-ups.
One of the latest trends in hospitality, which I find really interesting, is you can actually book a room that has stuff in the room. I'm not sure which chains are doing. I've just read a little bit. I'm about to say, you
got my full attention. Talk more about that.
My guess, it's probably bikes and treadmills and things like that, rowers, as opposed to a rack with some weights. But
even kettlebells. Something. Meet me halfway. Something.
Yeah.
Since my guy Kevin from Japan, what's up, Kevin? He's probably heading home on the train right now. Since he's on here, he says, "Good evening. Do you guys have a presence in Japan?"
We do. We have a dealer there.
Okay, so Kevin's always looking for stuff for his home gym, and he's talking about how like the stuff in Japan is like sometimes hard to get to. So Kevin, there you go.
Yeah, we sell worldwide. We're selling. We have sold in over 100 countries. Right now, we're probably selling at about 30 or 40. Some of them like we don't sell in Russia anymore.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, they'll be all right. They're strong enough.
Yeah.
And Kinsey, what's up, Kinsey? Kinsey, I'm gonna introduce you to Scott when we are at HomeGymCon.
Great.
She's got an awesome YouTube channel.
Awesome.
She says one of my clients has an older body solid functional trainer that's still going strong. We use it multiple times a week, and she says she's excited to visit your booth at HomeGymCon. Yeah, awesome. I'm going to introduce you to Scott when remind me, and I will introduce you to Scott at HomeGymCon.
That'd be great.
Because she's also someone who is, you guys said you're looking at the affiliate thing and trying to boost it up. She's interested in that as well. So but we'll talk about that later. All right. So this is my last question for you, Scott. How can people keep up with Body Solid especially if they want to start getting the Body Solid times?
Well, everything's on our website. The Body Solid Times is actually a fun. So the Body Solid Times is something we put together mostly to hand out at the trade shows. It is. But there's digital versions of it on our website. If you go to the bottom of the website, you'll see a little link that says Body Solid Times, and it kind of goes through our new products summary. But in this day and age, that's old news. If you're paying attention to our social media, it'll be all over our social media, and we're on all the Instagram and YouTube and all the major stuff. And the other thing is we love to publicize people who've got their stuff in our gyms. Send it to us and we'll put your picture up in our social media. We love to see Body Solid product in a house or in a facility and feature that as well. But yeah, follow us on social media. Go to our website. We've got a blog on there that's got some cool information as well. And I think that's probably the easiest way to keep up with us. And if you're still not finding out what you want, send me an email and we'll talk.
Awesome. And that right there is why I always tell people Scott is cool people. In fact, I want to go back to something that BJ asked you about whether you guys have a push to the home gym community. Scott has done at least, okay, the way that I got Scott to do an interview with me the first time was because I actually reached out to you through your AMA you did in our home gym on Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked everybody, I said, hey, I'm trying to get Body Solid to let me do an interview. And I asked people to reach out to you. And you said, hey, okay, let's go ahead and let's make it happen. Now you've done more than one AMA though. How many have you done?
We try to do them. We haven't done one annually. It's probably been about every 2 years or so. So I think I think we've done maybe 3 of them. I don't remember exactly.
3 AMAs, right?
Yeah.
So that right there is a commitment, because an AMA, for those who don't know, that's pretty much an all-day commitment where you're just committing
overnight,
to go back
actually.
and answer. Yeah, you're committing to go back and answer questions on some of which may have been asked before, and you just go back on you answer the questions.
The last AMA we did, we're still getting questions on it now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's
6 months after, over 6 months after it's done, we're still getting people like, hey, we're like, we watch it and we respond. So
yeah, so I just wanted to, I didn't think of it when BJ first asked the question about whether you guys are reaching out to the home gym community, but it occurred to me when you were saying, like look at your Instagram and all that. And I said, oh, wait a minute, he does AMAs too. So I appreciate you once again, Scott. I can't wait to see you in about a month or so. And I'm headed, and I will, before then, I'll hit you up so that we can make an appointment for us to come by your booth.
And I'll just close with saying that we may not be the best known in the community, but we want to be approachable. We want to be here for you, and we're just 50 people here in Chicago making and selling fitness equipment, and most of us are enthusiasts, and we love to talk to you about what you want. Love to work with you on buying and selling equipment, and love to hear your ideas. So we don't want to be a big corporate behemoth that you don't have access to.
Awesome. I think that there's no better way to end it right there. So thank you again for being on here, and you
John,
have an
awesome.
open invite. Dude, I told you.
You want me.
My man, that's it. All I need is that first time. There you go. We get you hooked, all right?
Yeah. Maybe I'll even do the first hour next time. Woo.
Oh, look at that. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Let's go. All right. Take it easy, Scott.
All right.
Have a good
Thanks.
day, man.
See you.
All right. And that was my guy, Scott McDonald. He is the CEO of Body Solid. And as I said, Scott is cool people. You know who else is cool people? Alex and Carlos from Synergy Custom Fitness, and they are going to be coming up next. They're going to be unveiling a brand new product for you guys. It is in response. It is a solution that you guys wanted. I see so many of you guys who put a comment on Synergy Custom Fitness storage products. When I see them on Instagram, the ads, and they say, hey, I would love to buy this, but I've got adjustable dumbbells. Well, they have a solution they have cooked up for you guys. So in less than 5 minutes, you're going to be hearing from them. So any questions you have about anything in their product line from Synergy Custom Fitness, get those questions, add it to the live chat now, and I will star them and ask those questions. If you're watching on Instagram, just throw your questions on there. I don't have a way to start, but just throw your questions in the comment section. I will see it, and I will ask those questions to Alice and Carlos. But in the meantime, shout out to the Mountain Time Zone. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. If you are watching on YouTube, please consider liking this video because you're going to like it. Why front? You like it. So hit the like button and then subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on LinkedIn, I had to put this on my personal page on LinkedIn. So do me a favor, go follow our LinkedIn show page, Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life. I'm not one of those people that's going to front and act like my following is bigger than it is. We are blessed to have over 50,000 here on YouTube, but we're really trying to grow the page on LinkedIn as well so we get more of that B2B audience. And the only way I can stream to the LinkedIn show page is if I get to at least 150 followers. So please, if you have a LinkedIn account, I don't care if you haven't been on there in 5 years, go dust off your old passwords, go find it, go on there and follow Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life. That link is in the description for the show on YouTube. And it's also in my bio on Instagram. So go there and follow the show page, Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life. And I greatly, greatly appreciate that, as well as all of the other support that you guys give all of the time. All right, we got the questions for Synergy Custom Fitness coming in right now. Okay, all right, I see that. I bet you I know the answer to that question, Joey, already, but I'll let Alex and Carlos answer it. So anyway, my next guests are a true American success story. They run a thriving family business in Florida. And as I said last time Carlos was on here, they are disrupting the gym equipment storage industry. So you guys ready? Alex, Carlos, you good to go? All right. So give a warm welcome to my second guest of the day, and that is Alex and Carlos from Synergy Custom Fitness. See, Alex wasn't ready for that. All right. He's like, what is this? He's got theme music. What's going on here? You feel like you should be dressed like Ric Flair, right?
All I can say, I love the energy, man. I love it.
Oh, if you wake up earlier, the earlier I have to get up, the more energy I have, because I gotta, if I don't have energy, if I'm not excited for the show, how can I expect my audience to be excited to watch the show?
I'll just say I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning this morning. Crazy. You may think I'm crazy, but I was.
Well, if you're gonna sleep in, whatever. I'm kidding. No, I actually got up at 3 and because I had to walk the dog. My wife's out of town. Normally she walks the dog during the show, and I was like, well, all right, so got to be nice to my dog. And so I sent you guys questions, and then Carlos responded to the questions in a way that's going to make me alter the first thing I was going to ask you. For the sake of me and anyone else who doesn't know, go ahead and kind of describe how you guys balance out your CEO, Alex. And in fact, let me go ahead and I'll just take this off of here because I don't want to, can't take away your shine. So there we go. So you are CEO, Alex, and then Carlos is the COO. Kind of break down what that means practically. Like, what do you guys do? You know what I mean? So go ahead. Whoever wants to start.
Well, I'll give you the short answer. Maybe I'll let Carlos elaborate a little bit more on that. I've always been a visionary in heart. That's not to say that Carlos isn't, because one of the great things that him and I have in common is that we have big dreams and big visions, and also, keeping in mind the true core of what we're trying to achieve. So I would say my vision is more, how can we scale and service the masses. When I say masses, I mean just to be able to reach those homes that are looking for the products that we have at this present time. So I'm more involved on the, keeping an eye and a pulse in the market. On when I mean market is more on the cost of goods. Now with tariffs and all that, there's the supply and demand is affecting the local market. So I'm constantly seeing how can we make sure that our pricing structure is not only staying the same, but trending lower rather than trending higher, because that is a going trend throughout the market. But we're doing our best, whether to purchase raw material in bulk, very important. How do we maintain, all of the products with consistent material types, again, to allow us to purchase in bulk and keep the prices down. So my goal is mainly keeping the prices down, and how can we continue to scale and reach the mass markets. And again, I don't mean mass markets in a bad way. It's more just reaching the individual homes or those small gym owners that are looking for our type of services. I hope that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then Carlos, we cannot hear you. See here. How
about now? Still no?
Perfect. Beautiful.
You hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
All
right. Sorry about that. So yeah, Alex really is the one that helps make everything happen when it comes to production. That's what he does. He also handles most of the financials. I really take care of all the operations, all the day-to-day operations, everything that has to do with our clients and the orders coming in and the order fulfillment. And we have a very unique partnership, and we communicate often. We meet often. Yeah, we do have our unique responsibilities, but we share a lot of those responsibilities too, especially when it comes to product development. When it comes to product development, we have these meetings. We go back and forth. My ideas, his ideas, everyone's ideas, but mostly our clients' ideas all come in, and so we collaborate a ton on a regular basis. I say we meet regularly, but I mean it's every day, all day. Besides our normal set meetings, we just collaborating back and forth throughout the day. Um, Going all the time, so um it's great to have family members to work with, in and we use it to our benefit, and we don't let that get in the way. We It helps us. We're very transparent, and we're very good at setting the right expectations so everyone knows what they're doing. And how I mentioned it in our call before, we are very intentional in making sure that we play everyone's strengths. And Alex is really good at what he does, and that's one of the reasons why we are being blessed right now.
So there's I think based on that and based upon our last conversation, Carlos, I think you're the one who has the most direct contact with customers. And you told me the last time you were on that you enjoy calling customers just to see how they're doing it. They purchase a product and then you check in on them and say, how do you like it? Is there anything that's come up that you don't like? Whatever. For those who didn't watch that episode, because I kind of brought it up about how, like, I see the comments on Instagram, you have like a storage solution, and then somebody says dumbbell storage, adjustable dumbbell storage. Talk about unpack your company's unique, sadly it's unique, relationship with the customer, and then talk about the adjustable dumbbell storage rack specifically. I don't want to bury the lead. I know that's what people want to see. So talk about how that specific product came to life.
Yeah, so I that's my favorite part about what I do. For us to stay in tune with our mission and what we want to do, it is important, necessary that we stay in touch with our clients and we understand and we talk to them and we listen and we get feedback and all of that. So, besides all the normal that most companies do, the emails that we received and reviews and all of that, I like to do a lot of surprise calls where I call, I just, whenever I have some time, I go through our reports and some of the orders that we received have been delivered recently, and I make calls, and I surprise some clients, and I say surprise because they're not expecting my call. That's the only reason I say surprise. And I don't always tell them. I'm one of the co-founders. Sometimes I just tell them it's just just a courtesy call. We wanted to see how things are going, and I learned a lot from those calls. One of the things is how much those calls are really unexpected. People don't expect phone calls anymore, and especially if he's one of the owners of the company or from anyone. After they receive the product, um, sadly, in a lot of companies, and in our industry and outside of industry, that's when they forget about the client. That's why salespeople have a bad rep. But I make sure that that's not the case with us. We want to stick around with the client. So in those calls, we learn a lot. I learn a lot. I personally learn a lot. A lot of times, I intentionally pick certain products that they've received because I want feedback on those products. I want to know what they think, and so I continue to do that, and this is how I find a lot of the ideas, and feedback, and I ask those specific questions. If there's anything you can add, you can change about the product you just received, would you change anything? And you'll be surprised. Sometimes I get nothing, but a lot of times people give some good feedback. Oh, I wish it could do this or it could do that, and this is where the adjustable dumbbells solution need came from. We started to see not only the trend all over social media about the need for a solution for this, but also we started to get requests from people. Some of our clients started to ask, are you guys going to come up with something like that? Are you going to come up with something like this? So we've been talking about it for a while, and we've been working on it. But, as I mentioned in my call with you before, a couple of weeks ago, we have a certain commitment. We have a commitment to making sure that we design products that are going to fit our company's character and our ecosystem. And we are very committed to staying away from just making any product, copying products. That's not who we are. That's not what we do. We don't want to. Some people do, I guess, well with that, but that's not what we want to do. I do have some stuff I can show you if you want. You guys want to
Carlos, can I chime in just for a little?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Please do.
John, I think if you notice with Carlos's response, we're not only a as far as a company that creates solutions for the fitness industry, but if you notice, there's a book that we read, I would say a couple years ago, Unreasonable Hospitality, which it's I apologize, I forgot the as far as the person that wrote it, but he basically created anybody has a restaurant, but he focused on the unreasonable hospitality, which is what's outside of just the regular food. So that's the same thing we want to incorporate into our industry as well. Anybody can create a rack, but it's how can we create a rack and any type of fitness equipment, but incorporate all these other needs in the customer service industry to create that as a whole. So that's why you notice that he chimed a lot on these other events of contacting the client, the consumer. How do they feel? That's it. Yeah. How do they feel about just not just the product itself, the packaging? Did the product arrive in time? Was there anything about the packaging that we can fix? So it's basically the experience from A to Z and then continue on. So we want to create that relationship where they want to come back to us. So I just wanted to chime that in.
That's actually timely though, because as you see, so there's a conversation going on during the show, this conversation, and BJ said that the quality of your packaging was such that he felt bad for throwing the packaging away. Yeah. The only thing he's mad at you about is that you guys don't offer purple as one of your custom colors. He said he's fine, but when people say they're fine, you know how that goes. We're all married, right? So we all understand. I'm not calling the BJ one. I'm just saying. But I say, it's fine. It's fine. It's not fine.
And believe it or not, we're still working on improving the packaging. We appreciate it. Absolutely, we appreciate it. That it's something that we always want to continue pushing the envelope, pushing the package for no pun intended, on being able to continue to improve, not only on their end, but to speed up the process on our end, but not taking away from the solution that we have for them as well.
So let's hit a couple, because Joey also, he's interested in purple, so he said he's very interested in it if it's purple. It's a lot of purple love, but these are a lot of Prince fans in the chat, I guess.
All right.
Now, one thing I want to do before we get on there is, so Kurt says he needs some synergy stuff for the channel, because he said he's more and more impressed with every iteration of everything that he sees from you guys. So let's go ahead and let's impress him some more. Which one of you guys wants to? I know you guys going to be collaborative or whatever, but who has the stuff to put it up? Because whoever it is, I'm going to bring you up. Okay, so Carlos, I'm going to give you the full screen then. Okay, so let me go give you that. All right, go ahead. I can't wait. I'm even going to get rid of my my on-screen thing right here. I want full effect.
All right,
sounds good. All right, let me. See, give me one quick second. It's asking me to.
I might have to make sure I can give you permission to share your screen. If it asks for that, I'll give you permission to share your screen.
Let's see. Okay, I think I have it. Let's see. Can you see?
Let's see here. I do not. Oh, wait a minute. Boom. That's it right there.
There we go.
All right, good to go. All right,
That
we're
is
in business.
it. All right.
All right. So I'm gonna do full screen for this then.
So
there you
but by the way, before I start, thank you, BJ, for the good compliments on the packaging. And if you're impressed about that, just wait till you see what's coming. We're really working on something that we think is literally goes with that book that Alex was talking about. It will be unexpected when you receive it and you open it. Is like I wasn't expecting for this thing to be wrapped this way, but so we continue to improve the improvements and try to take care of our clients and our products the best we can. But so anyway, so I'm excited to share this with you. Now I've got a lot of slides. Most of them I'm going to go very quickly by it, and then we can stop and talk. And but this is pretty much going to be a show and tell, guys. So I hope you're excited about it. But before I get to it, I think it's really important that I explain this so you understand why we took longer to design something and what was keeping us back and what was so important in the process. But our commitment, if you know our company and you've been following, you know probably already this, that there's these three pillars we are committed to: space-saving products, multifunctional products, and modular products. When we design a product, our mission is to look for ways where we can meet this 3 points. Okay. And another one, and I'll be careful how I say this, but if you've seen our products, you probably also know that our goal is not to build a budget version of whatever product we are building. That's not our first thought in mind. Our first thought of mind are these three items. Can they save space? Can they be multifunctional? And can we make them modular? So,
and Carlos, to your point, the budget is the long-term solution, because a lot of the times, individuals purchase something, they get a little too advanced, or they need another product, they got to throw it away and invest again. So to Carlos's point is we're providing a solution that grows along with you. So the budget is a long term as far as the lifetime that you're going to be with us. So that's I actually wanted to type that in, Carlos. Sorry about that.
No, that makes sense. It's like buy nice versus buy twice. I got it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and look, we just heard Carlos before, right? Before Scott came, we heard Carlos and his experience with buying a budget bench, right? We know what in this community we understand and appreciate those, this topic, because we know what it means to buy budget. But anyway, so let me explain you a little bit about this quickly. Alpha is for our first year was our top seller. Is an A-tier vertical traditional rack that has been and is our number 2 seller right now. But it was overtaken by the Delta rack. Now the Delta rack is an idea that was born that came from customers. Some of our customers reach out to us and ask, please, could you please do a 10-tier rack so we can do 5 to 50 pound dumbbells? We could do the set 5 to 50. So we did. So we took the Delta rack. The difference about the Delta rack you see here, the main difference besides the height is the base. Because it's taller than the Alpha, we had to redesign the base to make sure that we added stability. So if we take apart the Delta, we know we had to redesign the base for added stability, make sure it was going to be safe. But now when we designed this leg, we did it with the future in line. Can this leg fit all of our lines? Can it fit our Bravo line, our Alpha line, and our Delta line? Now, if you've seen our product, you know that these are the 3 lines that we handle. And we have this line for verticals and for horizontals. Now, if we introduce a storage solution for adjustables, it'll have to fit the ecosystem. It just has to, John. It has to be. If we are going to be true to our mission, it has to fit these things. So, can we then it needs to fit on a single upright, and it needs to be, and we have to use our Delta base. Why? Okay. Because we have clients that have already purchased some of our Delta products. They already own some of the Delta legs, right? So we have to make sure that the new product can align with what our clients have already owned, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
So having said that, what we did is we designed adjustable dumbbell arms. And we did that to save space. and that meets our first criteria. It has to be space saving. Now we know that a lot of people in the home gym communities have single uprights. So this can go in any single upright. You don't need any other product. All you need is an upright. So if you're one of those that you have a single upright that you use for other things, you can use this. You can also put this on the sides. You can install them individually, or you can install them one in one side of the squat rack, the other one on the other side, if that's what you wanted to. Now we made this with 3x3 11 gauge steel tubing. Same tubing that we use for our uprights. Of course, we did that for strength, and but let's just be honest too. We also did it for looks. It just looks great too, and now we left the 1-inch holes 2-inch apart, and we use a quarter steel plate for support. Now, if you notice on the back of these plates, we have flat plates for plates first. And then when we did that and we applied the weight to it, there was a little shift on the plate, and we did not like that. So we added these lips here on the back to avoid that shift when the weight is applied. Now, if you have a single upright at home, you can just get the arms by themselves, and you can just put them on the upright. Here's a couple of views of that. See what that looks like. So anyway, I don't want to just talk through all of this. I just want to stop for a second. See if, John, you have any questions, if you're picking up any questions so far. I've got a lot more to show, but I want to also stop and see if there's any feedback or questions.
Why, yes, I do have questions.
Yeah.
So the first question actually is not going to be from me. This is going to be from Jared. So Jared Martin wants to know, or he asked, he said, is there a potential for having keyholes? Because Jared has a rack with 5/8 inch holes. He's got a bells of steel Hydra rack. And so would you guys consider doing a keyhole or a snowman hole? So, like big hole on top versus big hole on the bottom.
Right.
Type of solution for those arms. Yep,
that's a great question. We thought of that, John. And so we do have an adapter that is just a washer that will convert the big one M24 big 1-inch bolt into the smaller bolt, and they can go into the smaller racks. And then we can provide those, Jared, when you purchase this arm. So it'll go into the 5/8 with those adapter washers that we have.
It's the custom sleeve that adapts into each hole. So washer is just a simple way of what we're doing, but it is custom that we create already, understanding that the market, not everybody has a 1-inch hole. So we have created it's a sleeve that fits into the hole. So
it's a reducer.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And it's a 2-step which welded together, so it won't fall off. In other words, it creates that stability where it stays in place.
100%. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And we already use this. We already use for some of our other products, and it works phenomenal.
Okay.
I had it flying around, but I think I don't think I have it anymore.
So BJ, that also had that question. So you just addressed that question. Then Christian Guerra, what's up, man? Haven't talked to you in a minute, Christian. Good. Thank you for getting up way too early with me, man. And he wants to know, will it fit power blocks? So instead of just power blocks, let's talk about, let's say dimensions. Like, okay, any dumbbell with this dimensions, or you can say, okay, well, it'll fit these dumbbells that you know about. Either way you want to go with answering that.
So yes, short answer, yes, it will fit power blocks, even the heaviest of the power blocks. And I have one of the slides I have, I'm going to show and talk a little bit about fitting and talk about some of those things, colors, all of that. I'm going to address it. So let me, I guess I'll keep going so I can show some of the stuff. Okay. So this is the option. If you just wanted to get the arms and you just have a place to put them, For example, Jake has an extra upright. This will work great for him, right? And these are made not just to store them there, but for you to actually rack and unrack right from there comfortably. Okay. So given the added space and the weight forward. But if you don't have an extra upright, then in this case we have our Bravo upright with our Delta base, and we added support plate for extra support. You can we'll have them available also to sell them like this, and this fits our ecosystem. This is exactly what we wanted to offer. Now, there's a few features I'll show, and I'll talk about it. One of them, the height adjustment. We've been reading some reviews and seeing some things. We know that, and we see people working out. Sometimes some of them have some adjustments you can make, but they're limited. They're fixed adjustments. You can only go a few inches up, a few inches down. With what we have done, because we're using the holes of the upright, you can pretty much go wherever you want in the upright. And if the Bravo is not tall enough, you can also put this on an Alpha and a Delta, and I'll show a couple of screenshots so you see what that will look like. So now, besides that, there is also, we created a fluid angle adjustment. So the place on the top where the dumbbells are going to sit fully adjust, and they're very fluid. They're not fixed placements, right? So you'll be able to move them and place them however your preference is when you are using your dumbbells. So we feel this is a really cool feature because it gives you flexibility, and you can adjust this to your own preference. As far as the size, the plate is 21 by 9 inches. And the reason why we came to this number is because we did some research. We looked at all the different storage adjustable dumbbells out there, and we found some of the bigger ones, and we wanted to make sure that we can accommodate them all or most. And it is made to fit most. So power blocks are there. True laps are there. The quick draws from reps, which is one of the bigger ones in the market, they fit there. Of course, your weapons fit in there. So there's a number of. This was made to really fit just about any adjustable dumbbell in the market. So let me pause again to see if that answers some of those questions, and see if there's more questions.
Well, actually, I'll ask this one now. A couple of people are asking about issues with the dumbbells. So Home Gym Hub wanted to know, and Iron Clinic also wanted to know about if there's a lip to prevent them from rolling off if you get spin locks. So the answer to that's nice. That's easy. So yes.
So the plate right now that you see right now is flat.
Okay.
We had some calls earlier with some people, some private calls for feedback, and we, shown, and this is a specific question that we ask: do we want it flat, or do we want the lip like a tray looking plate? And the answer we got was 50-50. Some didn't want any, and some wanted some. So we kind of torn in the middle. So maybe you guys can help us make that final decision, because this is pretty much the final thing that final decision we have to make to bring this up to market. And do we want a tray like plate, or do we want to leave it flat? We could do either or.
I mean, to me, I guess it kind of seems like, do that right there. To me, it kind of seems like people want the option. Of course, that's gonna, if you have some with a lip and some without, then that's gonna increase costs, and maybe that's gonna increase production costs too much. But is it possible to have a lip that you can set down on it? You know what I mean? Kind of like it's not a tray, but you know what I mean? Like where you put a lip down over the top of it, and then now you have the lip, and if you don't want to, you just detach it and pull the lip off. That might be an option. I don't know what
That could be an added feature that we can add, whether it's an add-on
Yeah.
for individuals like that. So yeah, I can see that happening.
Because you can make that out of plastic, or like a hard plastic, or rubber. Actually, rubber, just whichever makes the most sense. BJ said, "Can you make the platform reversible? So on one side has a lip and the other side doesn't have one." I like that. I actually like that better than my idea. So you just flip it upside down. I like that. Joey said, "I recommend a small lip." He said, "For dumbbells with a cradle, the cradle will probably go above the lip. And if you don't have a cradle, then the lip is vital." And Christian said, same thing BJ said, put a lip on one side, just make it reversible. So that's three votes. And it's my show, so I get extra votes. I like it. I like the reversible lip. Nice job, BJ.
Yeah, that's a great idea, man. Great ideas. I really like the one of reversible. Hey, you guys don't know it, but we're having a product development meeting right now.
Look at that. And once again, I love a live show. L Madison 6 says, "I'm so excited to have found this. I want to hear from you guys on Instagram. I'm hearing a lot from the YouTube people, not enough from the Instagram people. Maybe they're just in awe. They're amazed and they can't talk. They're like, oh, this is amazing. But I want to hear from you guys. Jump right into the conversation. That's why I brought you on, so you won't be left out. I want to include you guys in it." What's up, Rory? Rory said, "One more vote for the lip." And I get paid before you do. I set this up. BJ said $150 an hour. FYI, this one's free. All right. Just send me some stickers. I'm good. So I think this is probably the most important question. Nobody's asking. Is it available for purchase now? And if not, what's the timeline?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's a great question. This is we have a prototype that looks just like this sitting on the studio right now, and it's sitting on 400 pounds of weight. I actually stood over those 400 pounds, so this is going to be it's super strong. So we're testing that right now. The only thing keeping this from being on our site for sale right now is this thing we're discussing right now. Do we want a lip or not? And it sounds like we do want it. So when after this call, we will get to the drawing board to get those designed, get a prototype or so. Maybe I'll do a call with a couple of guys privately, and then we'll finalize that and get this up to market. How long could that take? I'm thinking within 2-3 weeks we should have this up, and after and when it's up, it'll be available to ship within 2 to 3 weeks, which is our timeline right now for shipping, for fulfilling orders. So definitely this will be ready before we get to HomeGymCon.
We are bringing this. Will you have it at HomeGymCon, and will people be able to buy it? Okay.
We are going to have it, and we're going to do a giveaway, a VIP giveaway.
That's right.
Of one of
I wonder where that's happening.
HomeGymCon. So now, go ahead. Go ahead, Jim.
No. I just said so. Home Gym Hub also wanted to know if potentially you guys would put strategically placed holes to lock U-bolts on certain popular cradles. So I guess if it comes with a cradle.
Yes, that's something we can do too. The challenging part on that is obviously having all the exact dimensions of where those holes will be. That's what we would love to have the most common ones, right? Like the Pepins and maybe some of the most common ones, and have that there. We just need to lock in the dimensions and have the exact dimensions, because I don't have samples of all these adjustables here on our space. Some of these are really hard to get. I was actually surprised as we're looking through some of this, how many of these adjustable dumbbells are actually out of stock everywhere.
Yeah.
So
is that so? This is for you, Alex, because you watch the market, but you're part of helping to keep things under budget and and all that. So when you see, okay, we've got 2 different ways we could go with this in terms of lip, no lip, or whatever. How do you balance? Well, this is what the community wants, and then say, but we got to make sure that we don't price ourselves out of. Well, obviously you don't want to price yourself out of existence either, but where you make it so expensive that anybody can then come in and undercut you once they see the concept to steal the idea, maybe make some cheap knockoff?
Yeah, that's we really can't control the cheap knockoffs. That's something that's inevitable. This industry, not just this industry, just as a whole, you're going to have a lot of individuals that are going to try to knock us off. Again, where we stand out, is obviously the quality. We're not sacrificing the quality. Our timelines are going to be on point with a new product. As a matter of fact, we're trying to keep it under that 2-week barrier. But yeah, it's a good challenge. One of the things that, for example, you're talking about lip, I'm thinking about how much is that going to cost. Also, Carlos mentioned, the 3x3.
Hence my question. I saw your face when you were like,
yeah. You
every time they said something like, you're like, what?
You saw my eye twitch, right? I started to twitch a little bit.
And then when Carlos was like, "Ooh, I like that. Make it reversible." I immediately looked at you like, "Does he like it too?"
Yeah. And you mentioned plastic also, and you know what? We try to stay away from materials that can break or that would create a false sensation of having a inferior product. So we try to keep everything, to the raw steel as possible. And one of the things that I'm always looking at is trying to purchase in bulk. And if you've noticed, every element within this piece, if I'm not seeing it right now, but it's basically part of our ecosystem. So it allows us to continue to purchase in bulk. And you'll notice 100% of the parts that are incorporated into this element are of the same material type, thickness, and so forth throughout. So, we buy 14 gauge sheets, 11 gauge sheets, 7 gauge sheets, these 3x3s, 3x2s. So all will help us create it. Now, let me get ahead of you also, is we don't have the price right now. Those are things that I'm trying to tweak, that we'll have it within the next week.
He said it depends on how many things y'all asked for in this call.
Well, we knew we were going to get a lot of suggestions coming up, and we're going to make sure that we facilitate that. And trust me, we want to keep this as economical as possible, but without disrupting the quality that we have. That's really the bottom line.
All right. So before you go any further, because you said something about that, and Jared has actually 2 questions that I don't want to ignore them for too long, because actually what he was talking about earlier with the keyhole thing was the upright on the wheels. So he wants to see if you guys will have that available on wheels, maybe with a keyhole design.
Yes.
Okay. So
wheels will be available. Absolutely.
Okay. As a matter of fact, the prototype that we have is on wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, that way you can move around, put it out of the way when you don't need it. And he's also was mentioning that, and I think someone else said something about it being Rob from Vintage Weights was mentioning that you could actually use it as extra storage.
Right.
So I think,
and I can talk more on that, John.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let me show, because this is, again, remember, this is one of our commitments, right? Can we make it multifunctional? And yes, we can. I'm going to give you just a couple of examples. You can add a battle rope to this. You can add a landmine to this. You can add an easy bar holder, regular barbell holder. You can add plates on the back of it if you wanted to.
Oh, I like that.
We also have this other shelf here on the top that could be added. Also, or if you don't want plates but you have some kettlebells, you can have kettlebell shelves to the back of this. So yes, this will be completely multifunctional, fitting our ecosystem and being true to our client. Now, you ask Alex the question, right, about protecting us from the knockoffs, right? First, our clients is the biggest protection, but our ecosystem also protects us, because you can try to duplicate the arms, but do you have the ecosystem behind to offer all of this value proposition to the clients? And the clients already own our product. They're not going to buy a knockoff because they don't have the supporting ecosystem behind it, right? And I'll show you a couple more quick. For example, this is in our Bravo model. This is and just a couple of options here, but this could come, to answer to your question, on the Bravo, Alpha, or the Delta. You can go taller or or you could go delta, real tall. You can get plates on the back of that. You can get kettlebells. You can mix it. You can do a lot of different things with it, not just or you can just use the arms for your adjustable dumbbells.
And that all integrates with your other dumbbell storage.
Correct.
So let's say, and the reason I bring that up is because, and Carlos mentioned that he still, I don't know why he hates himself. Carlos, you're not having a good day. He said he's still using the Bowflex dumbbells, which I hate because my Bowflex dumbbells broke on me. But the one thing I did like about them when I had them was they went up to 52 pounds. And so then I just had to buy other dumbbells from, I think I went 55 and up, right? So if somebody has a setup like that, they could have like, or the other way. So maybe you've got a set of the standalone or separate dumbbells, you know what I mean? Like a dumbbell set up to 50 pounds. And then you've got maybe something heavier, if like the Repins or something, if you want to go heavier than that. That's able to be integrated with all your other stuff.
Correct.
The dumbbell racks. Okay.
It is. So yeah, like for example, here you see the Alpha line. You see our kettlebells, plate tree, hybrid, and the dumbbell. If tomorrow, John, you decide that you're not going to use the adjustables anymore, and now you're going back to traditionals, you can see here, you can turn this back into any of these other ones. And that's the beauty of this, right? Or the other way around too. Same with our Delta line. You see the entire line next to it too. It just fits our ecosystem. And then last thing I'll address, and then I'll start sharing the screen, is the color. What can we what are we going to have available as far as colors? We're going to have black, white, and gray available for this. Okay. But we're also going to have red and military green, military tan, blue, synergy blue, hat pink for Ashley.
Shout out
yellow,
okay,
and orange. So we're gonna have all 11 colors available on this piece.
Hey, we're thinking about purple. That's still,
I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Look, they've already given it a name. They called it Purple Rain. I'm not making. They said Purple Rain would be awesome. I was like, well, okay, that's fine.
Hey, John, how about this? Maybe we should incorporate for a limited time, a batch of purple. So we may do that. We may do something unique in that manner.
Okay, yeah, because it's like these guys, BJ and Joey, they want purple. So yeah, I'm like, I don't want any purple. I'm black and red all day. But hey, I like for people to have options. We did have another question, and it was about this from Joey as well. He wants to know how much space there is between the lip on the shelves, and I'm trying to find it. Find this question about it. Yeah, here it is. So how much space is there between the shelves if you install this on a single upright?
I'm trying to understand how much space between.
So I'm assuming that I guess he's looking at it like how much, if you were to take the arms and instead of putting it on the Delta or whatever, if you put it on your rack, how much space there would be. And I guess that just depends on wherever you put it, right?
Yeah. The height is adjustable. Are you talking about the space between the left and the right, like side to side?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if we talked about that feature, Carlos, that it is also
because it does narrow.
Adjustable. Do you have that slide that kind of like shows it moving?
I do. Let me go back. So it really depends. You can adjust it. You could go sideways, you can go more straight, you can move it around, you can but Jared, to your point, I don't have right now what the dimension is, what the most narrow point is, and what the widest point would be. I don't have it right here in front of me. I can get that information and to you, but it's completely adjustable. You can move it around, in any direction you want, in or out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you got a shout out. Home Gym Hub, Spencer said he met you at HomeGymCon last year. He says you're incredible, loves talking to everyone at the convention to learn how to cater to us better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's see here. I want to make sure that I didn't forget anything. I think we're almost okay. So then they also mentioned like a pegboard design, so that it can fit about anything. And I think that again goes back to the holes. So basically, when I asked about the keyhole earlier, you said, well, you've got a bolt that's a reducer. Are you guys pretty much set on, because you want to buy in bulk, you set on basically having the 1-inch holes for the upright itself, and then if you're gonna to make it adapt to the 5/8, then you would you're gonna just sell the bolt, the reducing bolts. That's where we are right now.
Yeah,
because I mean, there's a cost effect on if you were to do the pegboard's a good idea, but then you kind of got to go back to the drawing board a little bit as far as ordering stuff and even like getting the machine reset for the number of holes you punch in it, and all that. All right. Okay. What you said you had something else that you wanted to show. So go ahead.
No, I think that's pretty much it, man. I just I just wanted to this is the first time we've done this, John. This is very exclusive, first time to your viewers that we actually have come public and show a product as much as and transparent as we have done. And we do that because we understand the value that comes from the feedback of the end users, of the public. You guys are using this, and you guys will have ideas that we probably wouldn't even think of. So, we're very excited about this. We're excited that it fits our ecosystem. We also want to recognize. I want to recognize that there's a lot of there's some companies out there, especially Black Widow. He makes great stuff, man. He really does. But we're trying to be ourselves. And that's why we took longer, because we needed to design something that had our name and our signature, and it speaks to who we are and what we do, and not what others are doing. Not to take away from other designs, because they're pretty amazing, but we wanted to make sure that we can meet all those three important criterias, and to our clients to stay true to our mission going forward. And that's the whole idea going forward with every product. These are the questions we ask when we're designing any product. And one of the reasons we left the holes there, let me see, I don't see here what we thought about. Did we remove the 1-inch holes?
Yeah.
We're trying to keep the cost down, and then we're like, no, I think those holes serve a couple of purposes. First, it just fits and it looks apart, right? It looks like it's not an afterthought. It belongs here. We know how much the community loves the 1-inch holes. I mean, but it serves a bigger purpose too. We are working on a couple of accessories that we're going to make just for this, that are going to attach to and it's going to need these holes here, the arms. Yes.
Yep.
So we're going to need those holes for other things that are coming to add more value to it and more functionality to it.
Nice. I like that. So you're already getting kudos. So BJ said that's way more adjustability than I expected. Jared says, wow, he said hats off to you with this product. Joey said you guys knocked it out of the park. Now we do have people saying, hey, go ahead, do a baker's dozen and add clear coat to your color options. Let's because you just mentioned, so Carlos brought this up before. This is not about the rack specifically. This is actually about your power rack, Alex. I'm not going to let your power rack die, all right? Your squat rack die, all right? Because I understand. And really it's because I understand. I've fallen in love with ideas before, and then it just didn't work. And I'm like, you know what? It just doesn't work yet. All right? One day, there's no point. We didn't need motor oil until we had cars. But by the time we had cars, all of a sudden, we needed motor oil, right? So do you still have, because you guys are talking about all your products have to be modular. They have to fit in with it. As you get more products like this storage rack come out, do you say, okay, does that in your head then change stuff that you may have had ideas for before, just through your years of lifting, like, oh, you know what, maybe down the road, this opens up this possibility. or this possibility?
Well, if I may say, it's not too far behind, maybe weeks away.
Are we scooping again? Hold on. Let's keep the full. Bam.
From unveiling another product, and this one, again, I don't want to give out too much, but just enough to tease. It's a space saving system, not incorporated into the wall. It is definitely incorporated into our ecosystem, which is our current products. So it does check off all 3 items within our list, and you can fit it within that space. Let me just leave it at that. I mean, if you have some questions, I may be able to respond to it. But again, we're just weeks away from unveiling that product.
All right, I'm going to ask a question that I know you'll answer. Will it be at HomeGymCon?
That's
because you said weeks, and I got a calendar right here. I got a calendar. Okay, how about this? I twisted Carlos's arm and got him to agree to come on my show at HomeGymCon.
Okay.
Can you bring up a giant picture of this item to just show the people who are in the audience at HomeGymCon? So they will be the only, if it's not ready yet, they will be the only ones who would have seen it.
Well, unfortunately, I'm the yes man, right? And I hate.
Oh, that's why I'm talking to you.
Carlos is.
Carlos, let me mute you. Let me
watch it, Alex. Watch it.
I'm gonna mute Carlos for a second. It's just me, you, and the 1,000 of us who are watching.
All right. How many weeks do we have, Carlos? Remind me.
Not enough.
Because HomeGymCon is May 28th. I'm sorry, it's June 28th. So if you don't have it available by then, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, do you project at this point that you would at least have mock-ups, something similar to what you did here today?
You're going to be there, right?
Yeah, you're going to be at my show. Does he not know? Okay. He doesn't know he's going to be at the show. Okay, yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
I'll be there first.
Let's just say I'll show you personally what's coming up, at least at bare minimum.
Okay, I can.
All right.
I'll accept that.
And John, I just want to remind everyone, on the 20th of June, we are going to be here again, and we're going to do another unveiling, okay, of something we've been working on, specifically for the horizontal racks. It's going to be a new add-on for the horizontal racks that is going to be amazing, and we are going to have that at HomeGymCon. But we're going to unveil it first before we go there at your show.
I love a scoop. Hey,
and
I know some of the. Go ahead.
I do work well under pressure. As a matter of fact, I prefer to work under pressure, and Carlos knows that. So
I can apply pressure if you want. I'm happy to do it.
That was a wrong statement, Alex.
So here's the thing, though. There's a difference between getting it done quickly and getting it done correctly. And so I think I recognize I'm sensitive to that. So that's why I said, even if all you had was like a I don't know. If you guys are into, but I'm saying like you guys are not well. So you guys know how like at Comic-Con they'll have like the unveiling, like they'll do the new trailer for whatever Marvel movies are coming out, right? So even if you guys had a video of the prototype, which might be back home, and they say, okay, well, here for the audience who's in attendance right now, we're gonna show it strictly to you guys, and they're the only ones who get to see it. Because then you can also, the advantage of that is then you also get their feedback in the moment, right then and there. So that's what I'm saying. That doesn't kind of put you out too much. And I'm emphasizing that part will not be shown to the at-home audience. It'll only be shown to the people who are there. So you don't have people who are like, who can then start. Because I know some of them are watching now and they've got their pen and pad out. They're trying to, copy. But I'm saying this way you'll have people in the audience who can see it. You can get their feedback, and then it's gone once, we walk out of that room. It's like it never happened. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Yeah. That's all I'm asking you to do.
Got it.
That's all. Let me ask you this, too, because you guys mentioned the intergenerational, you guys talk about working together. Carlos opened up with talking about how great this is with family. Before we get out of here, you guys are doing something that, and actually I'm going to do this real quick because I think that this is important. Let me see here. Right here. See if it'll pull up right here. Yeah. Okay. Just so people know who I'm talking about. So you guys are building something that potentially Chris and Katie's great grandchildren might be running on a full-time basis. And just thinking about that generational legacy that you guys are creating. What's your vision for success? I asked you, I think last time you were on, Carlos, like, what does it look like in 10 years? Well, I'm saying, like, generationally, I know what success looks like for Garage Gym Life when I'm in heaven. What does success look like for Synergy Custom Fitness years from now when, you know, the grandkids are running around and they're the ones running the show? And you guys, I'd like to hear from both of you.
Carlos, you want to start?
I can, yes. You know, it's very fulfilling to. I've heard from others, oh my gosh, you work with family. How can you do that? I've worked with family all of my life, starting with my parents. My father has a business. He had a plastic manufacturer back where we came from, and I know what it's like to go work with your dad, get on a van with your dad, and go sell with your dad, and go to the store with your mom. I grew up with that, and I owned a previous business about 15, 20 years ago, and it was my brother, and it was my father, and it was a family business. It seems like that's all I know, and I've got nothing but positive to come from it. So to me, it's fulfilling. It's fulfilling to be here and have my son within reach and have meetings with him, and then have my brother-in-law in Alex and others, and it is fulfilling. What does success look like? To me, we want to continue to create opportunity, not just for our families, right? Because it's their choice also. Some might not want to do what we're doing, and some might want to. And we don't want to disrupt their journey either. If they have a plan, things they want to do, you know, I want to support them whatever they're doing. But I do want to create opportunity, not just for them, but also for others as well. To me, that's a big part of success is to be able to give back to others by way of opportunity and growth. I want to become the #1 storage solution company in the country. I want to. Let's start with America first, okay? But I want to be that option that when people think about storage solutions, hey, don't even think about it. Go to Synergy Custom Fitness. They have the best solutions and they grow with you. I want that. To me, that is success. But listening to Scott prior to you and talking about 36 years in business, man, tenure is also success. Having something that lasts, long, is also very fulfilling because you can see the fruits of your labor over the years. To me, that's what's important. But one of the biggest indicators for sure success right now that I see and I look for all the time is when a customer calls or sends an email or places an order because they bought an alpha vertical rack a year ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and now they want to buy the expansion and get a horizontal rack and turn that rack into a horizontal rack. And that is success to me because we've done what we set out to do, is to help our clients not waste their money but see that more as an investment. And to me, that's a big part of our success, that we stay true to that and that our customers continue to see that in our brand.
All right, Alex?
I'll try to be brief here. You know, I have 5 boys, and they all love fitness. And one thing my vision is just creating a legacy, it's just to be able to live within the community, and be able to establish a business where they're not just a number as well. We love to be involved with the day-to-day operations. We're only as good as the people that are working with us day to day as well. You know, I remember working through COVID and they're not just a number for us. That they and their families, everyone that works with us and along and for us, are part of the family. And we do have family members in here, and I have my son. I have two of my 19-year-olds are out serving a mission right now, and when they come back, they want to be involved. One of the important things is not just getting them involved just for the sake of getting them involved, but it's using each of their strengths. Everybody has different strengths and weaknesses. So I can't put, I have my twins. One of them is a little more of an introvert compared to the extrovert. I can't put the extrovert in customer service sales. You follow me? So
Yeah.
it's a matter of putting them in a position to succeed. Everybody has strengths. Everybody has weaknesses. And our job, Carlos and I, is just to make sure that we're exposing their strengths and we're protecting their weaknesses. There's nothing wrong. Obviously, we want them to grow as individuals. That's why reading books is extremely important, not just for the company, but for each individual growth of all of our members, not just if they're a direct blood family member or an employee that works along with us. So, you have to, I'm going to date myself by saying this, when I say, you remember when Hair Club for Men came out and said, I'm
Yeah.
not only the president.
Not only client, I'm the president. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not in Hair Club for Men.
Not just the president, but I'm a client. Yeah.
So, I love fitness. I've been involved in the fitness. I'm not saying industry, but on a personal level, for 30 plus years. I've truly enjoyed it. I've seen the evolution of fitness. I remember 35, 40 years ago, seeing they used to isolate women and men. Now it's all incorporated. So it's amazing to see our customer base could be 50-50 women and men. So just evolving with them and make sure that we have a quality product, number one. So I hope that answers a little bit of your question.
Oh, 100%. Now, I promise you guys 45 minutes is now 9:01. Do you have a few more minutes for me? I got one more question from Joey, and then we can close out because I wanted to talk about the affiliate thing. If you guys have time. If not, we can talk about it next time. Okay.
That's fine.
All right. We'll run through this real quick. All right. So first of all, shout out to the West Coast. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. You guys can see on the screen, got Carlos and Alex from Synergy Custom Fitness. And then you also see in the middle, that is Chris and Katie. They're also part of the team. This is a true family-owned American success story business. And so they just showed us one of their innovative solutions is a dumbbell storage rack that is going to be customizable. It fits with the ecosystem of everything else that they make and everything else that they're going to make. If you were watching on Instagram, I appreciate you. Like my guy Kenny Sellers, Big Chris Victor, what's up, man? And talk to you in a minute. Garden of Eden, thanks for being here. Those of you who are watching on Instagram, if you want to watch the replay of this, it's only going to be available on YouTube, but you guys can check it out. If you're watching on YouTube on replay, please put comments about the adjustable dumbbell storage in there because they are using this kind of as market research to see to get it right the first time, as opposed to what we see happen sometimes. People put a product out and then they just wait to hear the complaints. Then they bring out a version 2. Well, Alex and Carlos want to get it right the first time. So please drop comments if you're watching on replay, and shout out as always to the replay gang. All right. So Joey Echeverria has the final question from the chat. He wants to know if he said an idea for the future is optional add-ons for like adder weights. These might need to be custom per brand or model, but that would be awesome. And I'm assuming he's talking about stuff like the gym pin, the stacked weight pin from my guy Sean over at Bear Steel, things like that. So that's just another thing that he kind of put out there. And because those won't fit in 1-inch holes as a general rule, because the pin itself is thinner because it's designed inside a weight stack. Now let's close this out because I talk to other creators all the time, right? I see you, Carl. Appreciate you being here. I know you'll be here. You're president of the replay gang, so I know you'll be here. What are you guys, as you guys are building out your affiliate thing, what are you guys looking at from a brand perspective in terms of partnerships with content creators? I think I asked you before about partnerships with inventors, but not, I don't want to call us influencers, but people who do what I do, whether as hobbyists or professionally. What are you looking for when you want to, if you're considering partnering with people like that? And either one of you can, or both of you can answer.
Yeah. Genuine content is the most important aspect of what we're looking for. We have worked with some influencers that have over 1 million followers. And now that we are not looking for exposure, but genuine content is king for us. Meaning people that truly use the product, and even better, people that keep the product and continue to use the product is extremely valuable to us. That is probably the MVP of content creators for us, is those that use it and know it, understand it, and keeps the product are the MVPs we are really looking for. Yeah.
All right. And
I
Alex?
think, I think the other thing is not just genuine, but I think they have to be very much in line with our values. We are, I don't want to say a family environment, but we appreciate those values as individuals as well. So it's just making sure that personalities are also key, because we don't want to, for lack of a better word, prostitute ourselves to be able to meet or get in front of other individuals. We want to make sure it's the right fit for us, and we want to make sure we're a right fit for them as well. Because again, that needs to align across across both areas. That there is that value in itself, because that's going to go a long way. Just making sure that we're in line.
100%. I love that. So Carp also wants to know if you guys will be selling shirts, Synergy shirts at HomeGymCon.
That's a great question, Eric. We could. It's something we could do.
He said everything's negotiable.
I'm making a note of that.
There we go.
Yeah.
I submit that you should come with a t-shirt cannon. I want a t-shirt cannon.
Hey, we have good arms, so we can throw them.
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
and
what's
John,
your last name?
Can I add something to the topic you were talking? Because I have to give a shout out to somebody. On our first year, I remember our first year, we got a client. We got an order from a client one day, and the client, we fulfilled the order, received the order, and then one day in Instagram, Katie reaches out and said, "Hey, this client bought one of our alpha racks and tagged us and did this really cool video." So I saw the video. I'm like, this is really cool. Well, fast forward to HomeGymCon. I see that guy in HomeGymCon, and I recognize the guy. And his name is Mark. And I see that he's followed by a camera person. Someone is shooting video for him as he's walking. And then I realize, then we talk to him, and then this is Mark from Flex.
Flex Marks the Spot.
Flex Marks the Spot.
And
and he came in, and then he did a little interview of us when we were there. What I'm trying to say is that one of the reasons we're coming up with an affiliate program right now is because of stories like this, because we feel that what content creators do, those that really care, those that really are passionate about the community, and they need to be recognized. And so we are working on a very aggressive and a very exclusive also affiliate program. One that is not going to be open to anybody, just anybody. One that is going to be almost by invitation, but that one that is going to make a difference and help make sure that we are not competing against our own affiliates. So we've already had a couple of meetings with some content creators trying to get some ideas. If anyone has ideas, or if there's any content creators here right now watching, when I know there are some, and there are things that are really important for you in an affiliate program, I would love to hear what those are before we put this program out. But we are working on that because of people like Mark, because of people like Ashley, like Eric, like and so many. Last time I mentioned some people. I don't want to get in trouble because I'm going to miss some, but because you guys need really the credit for the good work you guys do.
And one thing that was, John, amazing with these short interviews that we've had just to get their feedback. It's amazing that one of their key concerns was lack of communication, not with us, but just overall. And and after that, and I'm like, man, I'm so surprised because communication should be core. I mean, without well, my wife may think otherwise on how I am, but but
do not get in trouble, Alex. Yeah, exactly. None of us can save you.
Well, she keeps me honest. Let's say that she keeps me honest and on point. So, but communication, it's like that should be. It shouldn't even be talked about because that's your number one. Aside from those three cores that we talk about, communication is right after that when it comes to these relationships. So, needless to say, communication is huge on our end, not just with us and the advocates that we have, but communication with our client base. It's that feedback back and forth, and also when something goes wrong, things go wrong. UPS or FedEx may miss a package, drop a package. Something was packaged, maybe not incorrectly, but the wrong item was sent out. That's going to happen, inevitable when you have so many items going out. But now, how do you overcome that and execute that and stand out? Because again, we're not by all means saying that we're perfect, but we are going to be as perfect as we can when we're overcoming an obstacle. And an obstacle may be a complaint. Something arrived wrong. It's lost because it's happened. You know what? Rather than waiting, because we can easily say we put up a claim with UPS. It's going to take 3 weeks. What do we do? We ship out the package, continue the claim, and hopefully we'll recuperate that claim. Right. But they spent their hard-earned money to purchase from us. So we want to go above and beyond. But again, I digress. So communication is key. We understand that, John. So needless to say, that is a point that we want to make sure that it's reciprocal on both sides.
So I've got, I'm not going to get into all of it right now, but I've got a list. There's like 10 items on the list right now as I learn more and more about affiliate marketing. But I've got 10 items on my list that I look at, that I consider when I'm assessing an affiliate program. In fact, that's what it's called. The list is called Questions to Consider When Assessing an Affiliate Program. Two of the items have to do with communication. One of them is, will this brand give affiliates advance notice about products, or am I going to find out about it on Instagram with everybody else? Because then I can't plan. So back up I know you guys understand this, but for the sake of people who are watching, who maybe have a brand or whatever, or just in general, I've got a content calendar. So I know what's coming out next week. I've got evergreen stuff that I know I'm going to put out at a certain time because I don't have anything contractually scheduled, right? It's very difficult to plan out my content calendar so that I make sure that I consistently put out stuff on a schedule that my audience can anticipate and depend on, which is how I retain them, if I don't have any idea what to talk about. Just as frustrating is when I have no idea, I'm promoting something and I have no idea that it's out of stock with the brand. So now people are clicking a link, or they're going to say, oh yeah, you told me about this, but I went and I checked and they don't have it. It's out of stock. Now, that is not as big a deal to me because, well, that means it's working. That you sold it, right? So that's good. But when I just find out with again, it's very, very frustrating because I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I dedicating my time to try to honestly make your business successful? Because I don't get commission. I don't get paid if you don't get more money. So we're both working together, supposedly, to make your business successful. Why am I doing that if I have to find out about stuff when everybody else does? Because that shows me my value to you. You know what I'm saying? Not you guys, but I'm saying in terms of a brand.
Absolutely.
So like the communicate, those are like my two of my things. I'm like, why should I bother? So I don't want to make this go longer. I'm happy to, heck, I'll send it to you if you want to see it. But I'm
I'd love to see that. Yeah.
A conversation with you guys later. And I actually encourage people who are watching this, if you're going to be at HomeGymCon, approach them. These guys are approachable. Walk up to them and just, if you're interested in, collaborating with them, talking to them, whatever, go ahead, hit them up as and at HomeGymCon. But let's say somebody for some reason is not going to HomeGymCon. How can they find your products? How can they connect with you, see what you guys got going on? Do you have a newsletter, anything like that? Where should they go?
So social media, obviously, Facebook, Instagram, good way to go. Just look up Synergy Custom Fitness. Just make sure Synergy is spelled with a Y, both in the front and the end. Our email, support@synergycustomfitness.com, is a good way to send us messages too. We have our info email as well. We also have a phone number. All this is posted on our website, so that is the best way to do it. You can subscribe to our emails. I really encourage everyone to do so. That is the best way to know what the new upcomings are, what the new promos are, all of that. Right now, we just started our memorial, and I'll let everyone know on something. We started our memorial promo right now. It's 25%. In the history of how long we've been open, we've never done 25% discount. That is too high. Alex is not happy about that. But we are trying to, because of the tariffs and things, we're trying to make some corrections on the last few weeks. But we're not going to see a 25% promo again, most likely ever. So this is probably our biggest offering that it is for sure that we've had, and the one. But this is how you get, if you subscribe to our emails, then you get communication on this stuff immediately after it becomes available. New products, all of that. And we're very mindful about how we handle our email marketing. We trust me, you're not going to get a zillion emails a day from us. You're not. We're just not. We don't do that. That's not us. Do that with confidence and know that you only when you get an email from us, it's gonna be newsworthy.
Awesome. Outstanding. Well, I appreciate you guys, both of you guys, for being on here. I'll let you guys get started with taking the ideas and going to work on that adjustable dumbbell storage. And I'll see you guys in a few weeks right back here. But for right now, it was a pleasure to meet you, Alex. And Carlos, thanks for coming back, man. Thanks for getting up way too early with Garage from Life again.
Thank you,
Take
man.
it easy. Have
Thank
a great
you,
day. Yeah, thank you. All right, so that was Alex and Carlos with Synergy Custom Fitness. Those guys are doing good things over there, and I am such a huge fan of their business. I think you guys should be huge fans of them too. Okay, that is our show. Thank you to my guest, Scott McDonald from God is Solid, who was on in the second hour of the show, and we just were talking to Alex and Carlos from Synergy Custom Fitness. One more time, if you've not already done so, please support the show. I hope you liked what you saw. If you're watching on Instagram, give Garage and Life a follow. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Help my channel grow, because the bigger the channel grows, the easier it is for me to get cool guests on like Alex and Carlos. And this is me begging again, please, if you have a LinkedIn, even if you're not watching on LinkedIn right now, go to Up Way Too Early with Garage and Life, the show page on LinkedIn, and give it a follow. because I want to start streaming there directly onto that show page to make it just easier for businesses and other brands to find the content from these shows. As always, you guys made this show work. This show is unlike any other fitness focused show, definitely unlike any other show in the home gym space. And it is because of what you guys do and how you guys add to the conversation. Thank you so much to everybody who joined from Instagram. Thanks for everybody who joined from wherever you're watching, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever. You guys, you make me want to get up early every Friday. Next week, we're going to have Dennis Solis from Home Fitness Works. He's got a project called Garage Gym for Vets that he's working on in collaboration with RitFit, so to benefit U.S. military veterans. So you guys make sure that you are here bright and early, 6 a.m. Eastern time to check out the show. And until next week, keep on stacking days. Peace out.